Alrighty, good afternoon, folks, and welcome to Smudcast number 218, The Case for Legend of Korra. Now, not too many people, at least that listening to the Smudcast, are huge fans of Legend of Korra. They have lots of criticisms. Some of them love it, despite its flaws. It's totally cool. There's all kinds of reasons to like a show and to dislike a show. I mean, that's why we're here to talk about them. So that's fine. If you like a show, give us the reasons, and that's what we do in this video. We're going to be listening to all the reasons that make Legend of Korra a potentially great piece of writing. I don't know what that is, but we're going to find out, hopefully. Now, this is going to be 25 minutes, hopefully, of critical analysis about Legend of Korra. Hopefully. Lots of left brain thinking going on right here. So logical, deductive reasoning is going to happen.
You just wanted me to stop from grinding teeth.
Okay,
the only reason you said that.
Before we start, Wisp, what's the problem with this video? What's going on here?
Why are you doing this to me?
Okay, I'm not forcing you, but I'm just asking.
Why? Oh, I feel compelled. Zeta, where are you? Come here, please. Oh, God. Oh, my God. In the More Videos line in the Watch Together, I see that Riley made a whole series on Korra. Oh, my God. But let's not be distracted by that. You told me in the green room that you don't know who Riley is.
Right.
Well, how do I best put that? Riley. Oh, someone's
Hello.
calling. Hello, Zeta.
Hey, what's
Save
up?
me. Yes. I
So-
think
Are
you
you watching
accidentally
this
turned on your video.
Yeah, turn off your video there, Setter. We don't want to see any naughty video.
No. The only naughty thing is the fact that I need to wash my hair.
Okay, that's still naughty enough for me because we went from
I'm trying to
can't
not let
have-
it do it.
Setter.
We can't. Please respect our Islamist audience. They can't see your hair.
Oh, it's
There we
is it
go.
trying to cancel. It's not. Okay, there.
We like concentric circles only on the Smudcast, okay? None of these boxes.
Consensual circles. I plugged it into my laptop, and it was like, "You want to use that fucking thing?" Oh Jesus, hold on.
Oh God.
Also, if you can do it, push to talk would be great so we don't hear your animals in the background neighing and braying like, they're eating or whatever. I mean, I'm not against it, but other people might not like it.
All right.
Sorry, I just go home.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. This is from, let me just get the YouTuber, Riley J. Dennis. This was a video from, let me check, last year, August.
Oh God.
Has about 104,000 views, and the channel is 108,000 subs. So, well-known
Didn't get so
YouTube.
much. I thought Riley had been pushed more by the algorithm, but that's a little bit better. You told me you didn't know who Riley is.
I do
Zeta,
not.
Are you familiar with
really?
Riley?
I am familiar with Riley, mostly from Riley Dennis criticizers, to put it kindly.
You're making weird noises.
Weird. I'm not even sure what that
heard what you
is.
said.
What
I'm
is?
sorry, I'm walking.
Oh, stop walking, please.
Um,
What is going on? Are you
Uh,
are you jogging? Like, what's happening?
I don't know.
why are you walking?
Look, I just got home. I'm getting set up.
Okay,
I'll mute myself.
Senator, this is what you do. Do what you need to do, and then once you have a moment to yourself, and when nothing's moving around physically, like you're not locomoting around the universe, sit down, and then turn on your microphone, and then that'll be nice.
No celestial objects orbiting your head.
Every time I hear people like they're in the car, it's like, oh my God, please don't go in there. Like, stop driving, please. Like, this is not a good show for driving. or walking or jogging or whatever.
Oh,
So-
look smart. The chat knows Riley.
Okay, I don't.
Fears Riley.
It's been 5. Someone please tell me what's going on here because I don't know what's going on.
Riley.
Okay.
In the green room, I put it like this. Riley is about gender topics, the Maggie May Fish of gender topics.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Oh my god, you're in for quite a ride.
Riley made such wondrous claims as you don't need gender dysphoria to be trans, justifying his own transition. As well, he was friends with a little kid, biological girl named Milo, not Milo Yiannopoulos, who's basically an attention whore that insisted that, I just go into really admitted that on a video. I go into the other sex's bathroom because to get reactions out of people. So, okay.
Oh boy.
Thank you for coming clear with that. That's quite a behavior. And Riley insists that people have sex with whatever Riley identifies with at the moment, and if they don't, then that's transphobic. So you must have sex with someone who's trans, or you're transphobic. It's a must. It's a very Riley is telling people to be abusive, essentially. And
why won't you sleep with me? I'm repressed, so you have to sleep with me.
yes, suck my tranny dick.
Oh, have you seen? He probably hasn't even seen what. How are we? Are we saying she or he? Are we respecting her?
I don't respect Riley in any way. Riley is
I don't
not,
really respect her.
Riley doesn't have gender dysphoria. Riley admitted to that. So
that's
usually
true.
I just try to say Riley to avoid pronouns. That's all.
Right.
Where was I? Yeah. Back in the day, we made joke here. Trannies, by the way. We made jokes about Riley just having had his Adam's apple operation change him from piercing damage to blunt damage, because the thing is still fucking huge.
That's a great way of putting it. Oh my god, that thing was a mountain.
Yeah, you could poke people's eyes out with that. and basically, Riley is what I consider a body modification fetishist. He's just telling completely anti-science, not just pseudoscience, but anti-science nonsense as facts about the condition. Lindsay Ellis uses Riley as a source for facts about trans and sex and gender, which
what
should worry
she does?
you. Yes, Lindsay Ellis, in her video where she explained why J.K. Rowling is transphobic, and went on about, but hard science facts and everything, and then said that...
I think I remember that.
And then cited Riley. And Riley says the exact opposite of what Lindsay Ellis said in that video, but Ellis cited Riley for those things, but
I don't think
completely contradictory.
I don't think you could get less...
It's a mess.
Further away from being any reliable academic source than Riley Dennis. I don't think it'd be a good Tumblr feminist.
Yeah, and it's people like Riley advocating for children getting hormone blockers, just like Philosophy Tube, which cause horrendous amounts of physiological damage because some things just don't develop if you use hormone blockers. And that's not just talking about sexual organs, that is also talking about other vital organs. Because puberty doesn't just we pause it for now and then it finishes if we stop the hormone blockers. No, puberty is a bit on a time. How do you say that? There's a time limit to it, and what's done until that time limit is hit. That's it. So I've heard of people with heart issues, with lung issues, because they didn't develop properly due to the lack of sex hormones in the endocrine system. And yeah, then you have a too small pump or too little lung, and that's not going to be a very happy or long life. It can also be painful. And those are issues people don't talk about yet, because it's not allowed, because social justice wants to save the children by putting them on a path that is irreversible. And potentially gives them gender dysphoria when they don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when I was watching the video, I was a little like, that's a strange voice for a lady. Like, that's a, slightly off sounding voice. I'm like, okay, something's up. I checked out her Twitter. Oh, it's a she. She's married to some guy or whatever.
Someone married that?
Fiance, I don't know, whatever that case may be. So I thought, okay, that's just a strange sounding lady. So I was a little skeptical, but other than that, I don't it doesn't bother my influence. Like, it's not going to influence my way of understanding what the argument is.
Well, yeah, what the argument is. I just know that this person is not very smart, and he's trying to defend Korra, and that's where my beef is.
Right.
Yeah. So generally, Riley is one of the big sources of very, very dangerous falsehoods about gender dysphoria, trans, whatever you want to call it, transsexuality, being spread. And
I wonder...
YouTube was pushing Riley's channel instead of dumping it down, because that's just dangerous, really dangerous nonsense.
And they like dangerous nonsense when it's their dangerous nonsense.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, when we say it, it's fact. When we say the earth is flat, then the earth is flat. Why do you spread misinformation that the earth is round?
I wonder if Riley's going to sneak in any trans arguments in this. This will be interesting. But it's a bit long. I didn't see the length of it, so let's get into it.
Let's get going. Here's a donation from Tall Person. Always a great person to give me money. A tall person.
It's my favorite type.
Your favorite kind of person's a tall person? Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
If they are taller than me, do they get a +1 disposition?
Alrighty. It's a good position to be in. Hoy, I'm glad I can catch one of these live. Have some money. Well, that's a great way of saying hello. Thank you, tall person. Always a nice way. Let's get going. We got 25 minutes to go.
Before we get into this, one more thing, key thing that I always want to emphasize when we talk about these issues, and because someone just mentioned it in chat, thanks for the reminder. Most cases of gender dysphoria in puberty, and you don't have it before puberty, not really, not noticeably, about over 80, sometimes over 90%, depends on the study, but it's always way over 80% of cases presenting with symptoms of gender dysphoria are fixed naturally by going through puberty, by finishing puberty normally. That's how it goes away. That is the natural cure for gender dysphoria. The people who have a problem are the ones who, post-puberty, have their gender dysphoria be persistent. That's a minority. So gender dysphoria is a minority of people, and the ones who need actual treatment is post-puberty only, and that's a minority of that minority. So pushing anything on kids is child abuse, is malpractice. Just be there for your kid emotionally, be there, give psychological support. That's all your kid needs through this hard time. Puberty is confusing and hard for everyone. It should just be labeled diagnosed as sexual maturity crisis. In the ICD-10, there is F66.0 for that. That's the way more appropriate thing. And gender dysphoria, just like some other conditions, should only be diagnosed after puberty, or at the very least after coming of age. And that's mainly it. So anyone pushing that on children is an idiot or is malicious.
So remember, folks, fuck Riley Dennis.
Yeah, and by the way, I have gender dysphoria.
Message coming in.
Just so you know, my voice is shit. I never got around to fixing that bastard. due to abuse by SJWs. Thanks for that. SJWs messed with my transition. How trans supportive of them. And that's a story of its own. So don't think that these people are really interested in the health of people or want to help anyone for real or in any of the issues they talk about. It's simply not true. They just see groups to exploit and to speak for in order to gain social power and other forms of power. And yeah, that's mainly that. So now I trailed off again. Just if you have kids, if you have friends who have kids, if they think they have gender dysphoria, tell them, wait until puberty is over. There are studies on this. SJWs are suppressing them. They never talk about them because it fucks up their narrative, obviously. And there's an industry growing around transitioning children. If you're in the UK or Canada, you're familiar with that. There are specific gender clinics for children. Yeah, they depend on having patients. So they're interested in transitioning kids and giving hormone blockers.
Just let kids, be weirdos.
Yeah, and don't fall for this bullshit that, but if you don't transition your kid, then your kid will be depressed and go suicidal. Yep, wait out puberty, for fuck's sake. That's what most people manage to do. And there was even the NHS had to release a study a couple of years ago of their gender clinics that showed that the kids, mainly girls, that got this through social contagion, they don't actually have gender dysphoria. Their suicidal ideation increased from hormone blockers. Didn't go down, increased. They got worse. So just do not trust what fraudulent, abusive people like Riley say, or organizations like Mermaids. That's just really creepy stuff. If you love your children, just support them, but don't give into this bullshit. This is pseudoscience, what they preach.
Well.
All right, there's our wonderful Smudcast PSA on gender dysphoria and how to treat your kids. Just don't abuse them, all right? That's a good start.
Wow, who'd have thunk?
Okay.
Don't abuse them.
Yeah. All right, so let's get going. We got 25 minutes, and we got one super chat. Thank you, Mariner1712. I got 500 in COVID bonus this week. Let's frickin' go. All righty. Thank you, America. God bless John McCain or whoever's in charge.
Throw it in AMC.
Whoever is, I have no idea. Whoever's in charge of giving people money in the States is always good for me.
Who fucking cares?
Okay. We're going with subtitles. All right, let's do this.
A few months ago, Avatar: The Last Airbender returned to Netflix in the US, resulting in a massive surge in people rewatching the show or
his voice is tone-pitched.
Or watching it for the first time, which has been a lot of fun. I love The Last Airbender. I've made a bunch of videos talking about what a great series it is, and it's exciting to have everyone talking about it so much again. But with the return of The Last Airbender has also come the return of comparisons to The Legend of Korra, and the, I think, undeserved hate for the sequel series. I love The Legend of Korra. I think it's a really fun show with great writing and incredible characters. I enjoyed watching it when it came out, and I still enjoy rewatching it today. I think both of these shows are amazing in their own ways. So with The Legend of Korra now making its way to Netflix as well, I thought I'd present you all with the case for The Legend of
Yeah, so they're not saying anything inherently bad. I mean, you could like something for whatever reason. Yeah. I could like The Last Jedi because it looks good and sounds good. That's totally fair. So not saying anything over the top.
Yeah, it's just the rile up.
Yeah, but yeah, and thanks, Seda, for pointing that out because it sounded weird to me.
Yeah, no, it's like sped up. It's like almost chipmunk-like.
Yeah, and I remember Riley's old voice and then the slightly changed one. But this is and that sounded okay. It sounded okay for that age. But this sounds out.
It's artificial.
Yeah,
that's what it's about. But wait, Smud, you've seen the first season of Korra, right? I think you mentioned
intermittently, not the rest, because the other two seasons I just got bored of. But the first one I was watching online, and I was like, it's fine. It's not great. I'm not that interested.
It's a fine.
These are basically different shows.
Yeah, that's why they're saying in their own ways. So let's see the case for Legend of Korra.
I mean, with that, I mean it's like they're in different universes.
Oh, basically,
Like the connections are just the connections are so superficial, just similar to the Disney Star Wars movies.
Mm-hmm.
They're not that's not Star Wars. That's just okay. We tag these things on that justify them as being connected to the actual Star Wars.
I can't recall the decisions that they made, or the reasons why they made the decisions they did off the top of my head right now, except for the fact that they like Prohibition era, and they were like, let's do it. Steampunk Prohibition.
Yeah, they have the steampunk fetish, and there's this 1920s golden 20s thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that, sorry, you can weave that in, but you have, if you really want, but you have to make this gradual transition. You have to show that. That's the interesting part. But they just slap some New York like city into this world that doesn't fit here.
Oh, not at all. Well, let's see. I wonder if he'll bring up the setting as a positive.
Mm-hmm.
Interpreted the show, but if you have a different view, that's totally okay. I'm not saying that this is the only way to experience the show. You're allowed to have any opinions you want about
whatever.
Korra. I'm just telling you what my opinions are, okay? Oh, and obviously, big spoiler warning for all 4 seasons of The Legend of Korra. So to start, I just want to talk about some of the aspects of The Legend of Korra that I love, and then later in the video, I'll address some specific criticisms of the show that I've seen floating around. Alright, so one of my favorite parts of The Legend of Korra was the theme of healing from trauma that's especially prevalent in the beginning of Book 4, following Korra being poisoned by Zahir. Korra's recovery is very, very slow and non-linear. She spends a few weeks barely able to sleep or eat from her PTSD.
Okay, how is something in a story non-linear? What is she referring to there?
I think what she's meaning is that Korra like regresses in the sense of a recovery being non-linear, that you don't have to be constantly getting better. You can kind of regress a little bit, and that's fine, and an acceptance sort of thing.
Sorry.
But that doesn't... Oh, I thought you were laughing.
No, I just...
You're trying to walk
on my tiramisu. Sorry.
Your soup. Don't die on your soup.
Not soup, tiramisu.
Uh-huh. But I think that's what he's referring to. Like, if you're learning to walk again after an injury, and you finally get some steps in, but now your leg kind of really hurts and you can't walk for a few days. You feel like you're going backwards. That's what she means by non-linear.
All right. So I thought I was referring to storytelling, but it's just the actual events. She goes from better to worse to better to worse, et cetera, et cetera. Okay.
So
wait, maybe she is talking about non-linear too, because it was told in weird flashback. Oh no, I'm confused.
I only remember. Oh fuck! Sorry. I only watched Korra once. Because I just didn't want to watch this again. I remember this part, and it rubbed me the wrong way somehow. Like, Korra couldn't get her ass back up. She's really the most pathetic avatar to have ever existed. Completely overconfident in the beginning, and here finally the Mary Sue gets a little bit of a slapdown, and then her recovery was quite instant again. If I remember correctly.
Oh yeah, maybe what they're referring to. They're like slow. Yeah, it wasn't slow. So in season 3, she's in a wheelchair because she was just poisoned by mercury, and if anything, it should have done worse to her. But
it was super mercury for avatars.
Yeah, it's super mercury for Avatar, whatever. And then the first scene of the next season that shows her is she's in a fighting ring. She's up and around and bobbing and weaving and fighting, and like, I don't know, some grungy pit fight with her fists are bending or whatnot, and you're like, what? Thought you were in a wheelchair. Thought you couldn't walk. And it shows flashbacks of her learning how to walk over several months and be like, wow, it would have been interesting to see that, but I guess we're just moving on.
Yeah, and PTSD is more of a psychological thing than a physiological. The physiological is an extension of the psychological wounds. And I don't really remember how she overcame any of that. Because that's a
Um,
little more difficult than a pep talk.
A pep talk, yeah. She went and saw Toph in the big tree, the forest. That's one tree, that's one living organism. And she was like, wow, that's so deep. I'm cured. Oh, no. Maybe it was worse. I think she also went to Zahir. So she went back to the guy that traumatized her to heal.
Yeah, I remember.
Again.
She went to a few people.
Oh yeah. It wasn't really that well done. It felt like, YA novel PTSD. Oh my god. I'm so sad. How can I stop being sad? That's what that season was.
Okay, that's a good enough answer for me. Let's keep going.
Dee then works with Katara to try and heal. She barely makes any progress for 6 months and lashes out at Katara because she's frustrated and upset
6
and
months.
tired. Then when she
Pathetic.
thinks she's better because she can walk, she's still tormented by the damage done to her mind. It takes her 2 years before she can even bring herself to write to her closest friend at the time, Asami. And when she goes back out into the world, she realizes that she can't meet people's expectations of who she's supposed to be. By the time she meets Toph and finally starts to address the root of her psychological trauma, it's been 3 years. The Legend of Korra never pretends like healing from trauma is easy or even a straight line. It acknowledges how hard it is, how long it takes, and how you might never go back to how you were before. Even after she meets Toph and gets the rest of the poison out of her, she continues to have mental blocks. I mean, she's basically healing for the entire season. And the moment where she has to confront Zahir to get some closure and finally be able to accept what happened is so scary and tense. It has you on the edge of your seat because of all the emotional development that led up to her even being able to do that. It's not a physical fight, but it somehow packs even more of a punch. And that encounter teaches her that even though she'll never be able to forget, she can move past it, even if she'll never be the same.
You can at least say that this could have humbled her, but in the end, it still didn't.
Oh, it didn't, but this is more like an execution thing. Like, I guess that's what they were going for, but it was also kind of shallow. And it sounds more like they're projecting. You're like, oh yeah, I love this because
all the writing in Korra and similar shows is shallow. And that's really sad because look at this background image. Background image is amazing. Just seeing the perspective, the little light up there and in the house. It's great. And the light of the sky. The sky looks great.
Oh yeah.
But that's it.
I know we kind of addressed this point when we stopped or 5 seconds in.
Korra's arc here was so well written, so powerfully human, and so perfect for Korra herself. She grew up in this.
It's just well written. That's all he says.
Did Riley just say that?
There's no backing it up. Like, listen.
Sheltered life, dreaming of being this super powerful avatar. And now that she's been severely traumatized...
Oh god. Okay. Korra never dreamed of being the super powerful avatar. Korra was the super powerful avatar from the fucking get-go. And the sheltered life is the initial error in this whole world. And the writers could have used that to properly incorporate that into the show, where the White Lotus realizes, oh fuck, we fucked up the Avatar because the Avatar has to go out on adventure, even if that leads to the Avatar being trapped in ice for 100 years. We need to let the Avatar have the fucking hero's journey by going out there and doing it all herself, instead of sheltering her behind walls and bringing all the great masters to her, like the Oedipal parents we are.
But they already did the hero's journey. No one would ever want to watch the hero's journey again. No one. It's not that 90% of all stories are the hero's journey.
Yeah, but you could have done something with that setup, really. In a way, in its light way, I think, but I think that's accidental because these people don't know how to write. A little bit you can see that because she's a completely inept character, but I think this is the same kind of ineptitude of character as is Rose Tycho in The Last Jedi, which is not a completely insane person because Ryan
I think
Johnson
Rose is like a
intended
special
Rose-
type.
I've talked about that on other streams.
Oh yeah.
Rose is so Ryan Johnson intended Rose to be the most normal human that doesn't fit into the Star Wars universe. That was his intention.
But this is about Korra, so we'll keep it.
Yeah. But just let me get to the parallel. What he instead created was a character that always acts the way that is necessary for the current scene to look amazing, which is every scene a different emotion. So Rose makes no sense emotionally. She's flip-flopping from one emotion to the next every minute, which looks exactly like borderline personality disorder. And Ryan Johnson thinks that is normal behavior. and in Korra, we have the super shallow writing, which kind of seems like a product of the ineptitude of the White Lotus, of having this Oedipal growing up, but it's the super sheltered lifestyle. But I think she's just an inept person and character because the writers just aren't able to write anything better. Because all the characters are kind of... none of them really make sense in their actions and decisions and interactions.
Except maybe Tenzin.
Yeah, a little
Tenzin's
bit.
Bay.
A little bit.
Except for putting up with Korra, I suppose.
And personally, I like... Varric was his name?
Varric?
The inventor guy?
Oh yeah, Varric.
I liked him
because they played into the fact that they couldn't keep a consistent character. He was off the walls.
Yeah, I would say he started out as a comic relief, but then developed into someone that has, and I think he's the only character that had an arc. I think he's the only character that had a very small but a hero's journey. He comes out different. He comes out as a hero in the end, where he develops his personal ethics, where he runs into danger to basically risking to sacrifice himself to save his friends. And that is probably only one in the whole fucking series, and I don't think it was on purpose.
Here is Jake the Surgeon. Thank you, Jake. Wisp, does Riley awake the rage in your German blood? Oh.
I don't know if the blood needs to be German to have rage awakening in it.
Right.
No?
I think this is universal.
Oh, everyone hates Riley. Okay.
Everyone hates Riley when he starts getting into any sort of opinion. Right here, he's just kind of stating things. There isn't an argument. It's just
if you
describing.
If you know how many gender dysphorics hate Riley, but they don't speak up because they just want their quiet lives. They don't want to be. They don't want the spotlight. They don't want people to know that they are trans because they pass well, and the only people who know are their significant others and their doctors at this point. And you don't want to lose that just to speak up against one of these assholes. I can completely understand that. And this is the problem why the T in this rainbow letter soup is so easily taken over by these ideologues. Because no one stood up against it. Or if someone did, it was just instantly cancelled, if you will. And that was years and years and years ago. Nobody noticed it because nobody cares about the small number of trannies out there. It's really one of the easiest demographics to take over, I'd say. And there is no community. It's a demographic. Like gay, there's no community. It's a demographic. Gamers, demographic. They say community to unionize a demographic and pretend to speak for it so that they can speak for it. Otherwise, if it's just a demographic, it's a bunch of individuals. If it's a community, you've drawn borders around it and say, this is one cohesive thing, it's unified, and it has one voice and one opinion. This is part of the Newspeak trick. That's its own story.
I can't imagine seeing a bunch of gamers being unionized. It doesn't sound right.
We all know the most oppressed demographic, the gamers.
We need to unionize to protect our rights of something. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's you could say
against the atrocities
unionization from the outside.
Oh yeah, I kind of push you into a corner.
You are all of one group because of this one trait. We now speak for you.
Yeah.
Oh God.
That's what's happening.
Oh yeah, I get that. I get that with the girl gamer thing. Like, all the girl gamers think. No, fuck off, bitch.
No.
Learn how to say "fuck off, manlet" when people harass you online. Like, shit, it's not that hard.
All right.
Oh yeah, I also like Zelda. I like his green cap. So okay, yeah, go on. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, I have a Triforce T-shirt too. Ha ha ha. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm such a gamer girl. Ha ha.
You're talking about e-girls.
I've had these. No, these fake fangirls. I've had to deal with these, and they are almost always feminists, SJWs. They fall for this ideology because it gives them power, and they are the ones who insist they are the real fans, and they don't know shit about anything. They're just there for the heart pieces.
Smud, have you ever run across fake gamer girls?
No. All the ones that come to me are legit. Believe it or not.
The legit gamer girls. Oh.
That's awesome to hear. Well, it's essentially the same as the in your high school at the football field. The girls that sit at the that are on the how do you call this in English?
The stands,
the breaches.
Yeah, who sit on the breaches and watch the sports guys do their sports.
What's the lyrics? This is turning into a Taylor Swift song.
Yeah, but the ones who are not the cheerleaders, they just ogle the boys.
And I'm on the breachers. Sorry.
Yeah, but they're not even the cheerleaders. Because the cheerleaders at least do some sports themselves. And no, they're just ogling the guys and trying to get one of them and pretend that they are into the sport when they don't give a shit about the sport.
It really depends, because I actually have a story of my cousins that he was the ace quarterback, and she wasn't a cheerleader, but she just loved football. So and they still love football, and they're married. So it's like, holy shit.
Awesome. Yeah. So I'm not saying it's 100% like that.
No, of course not.
But there's a huge correlation.
They're also crazy into athletics, so they're always exercising. So it's kind of intimidating. But anyway.
Yeah, but in other hobbies, it's more obvious that you have these girls come in and they pretend to like the stuff that's going on, and then they're just fishing for guys.
Right. Oh yeah, I don't know why, but some girls are into those sad gamer boys. It's a type we make fun of other girls about being attracted to.
The sad gamer boys.
Sad gamer boys. Yep, that's
they easy targets. They easy targets. And
easy targets would be. I would say that.
It's an understatement.
They're not intimidated by them.
All right. Okay. Let's get back on whatever the video is trying to express, which we're still waiting for a point here.
Because she's an avatar, she's afraid of going back to her avatar duties. She's forced to be introspective, to take time to figure out who she is. And the most poetic thing to me is that in book 2, she's told that...
I just want to say that scene where she cuts her hair. I don't know who animated that, but with that motion, she would have rather ripped her hair out than cut it.
Lazy animation. That's actually a pretty common thing in this.
Yeah.
Like, this is a really awful shot that we stopped on.
Yeah, and that wasn't a cutting motion. That was a pushing motion. That she was pushing the blade through her hair instead of cutting it. The competence of Korra.
She's a difficult girl,
okay? Her traveled the world to learn, just like how Aang traveled to learn the 3 elements he didn't know. But Korra never got that experience because her father and Tenzin wanted to keep her safe in the South Pole. So after all that she's gone through, she finally travels the world, not to learn the elements, but to learn about herself, which is what her story has always been about. Through this journey, she's able to learn a new
Oh, it would have been interesting.
What the journey in the first place should have been. That's why it exists. And the White Lotus should be aware of that.
Yeah, but this journey that he's describing was like an episode, and most of it were just 1-minute clips of things going on. It would have been cool if what he's describing was actually what happened, but he's embellishing.
Yeah, because that that journey should have been the show, because that journey is what is interesting. And because Korra initially doesn't have a big villain like Aang did. Aang had the Fire Lord from the beginning. Korra didn't have a villain. She had to go to the city to find a villain. Korra could have just started with the normal, okay, let's see the world, let's see the wonders of the world, because Aang hadn't met every single wonder in this wonderful fantasy world. Couldn't. He was busy learning quickly to battle the Fire Lord. But anyway, Korra could have given us that. More of the world. But it didn't. It dabbled in incompetent relationship drama. It dabbled in very shallow philosophy and politics.
Drama.
It dabbled in space carpets battling each other and ruining the complete lore of the whole world, and then deleting the whole lore of the world. That is just, oh god, no.
So
how can you like Korra?
If you're going on an adventure of self-discovery, and that's the point of the story, then you're no longer having a solid plot. You're just saying, who am I? What am I doing? And as the example was with Aang, he had to learn, like he had to go on a journey to learn specific skills and to do certain things, whereas Korra's just, who am I? What am I doing? What am I doing here? Like it's this
and
dumb...
Korra also, and I don't think that's ever been even asked, is what do you want?
Yeah, you need a plot.
What the fuck do you even want?
Like, it's fine to have that as, like, secondary or overarching, but there has to be something more concrete at the end of it for us to stay invested.
Yeah, you have to go for something. I don't care if she wants, like, a golden fleece or some sort of magical object. You have to do something to get something, and you have to have a motivation to get there. And if they have nothing connected to being an avatar, why is she the avatar? Why even have that character in the story? Now, when she lost her powers, that makes sense. How does she get them back? Oh, right, she has to learn to get them back. She has to go on a journey to do that. Makes sense. But if the majority of that is not actually doing these things, it's one episode long.
Balls for a story like that.
Well, they already saw that with the first incarnation of the Avatar. So.
Message coming in. Patching it through.
Here's Alex Halo. Thank you, Alex. They could have finally used that 1,000-face spirit. Oh. Okay.
Oh! Koi! This little centipede guy that steals people's faces. That dude fucks me up.
Whoa.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, Avatar
They should have used him. They didn't.
Dipped into great mythology of Asia. Korra didn't. Korra made a bad mockery of Studio Ghibli ideas.
They did the rule of cool. If it looked good, sounded interesting on paper as an outline, but they never were able to flesh out that outline.
Patching it through.
Oh,
and the outline was only average.
Oh, Jake, what are you doing? The goose stepping awakens, marching towards Riley. Lead us, Wisp. I can feel your German blood desire. What?
Oh, no.
No. The Germans aren't crazy.
This person isn't worth the rage.
Yeah. I don't think so. Come on.
Please
get angry, people on Smudcast. Like, no, we're fine. We're good.
If you want me to go into Vajra Asura mode, you need something bigger.
I thought I'd be angrier at this.
Yeah, I think.
But we'll see as it goes on.
We haven't seen Riley yet.
Addressing the criticisms.
Riley hasn't said as retarded things yet as I remember.
Yeah.
So that's the room.
Well, they're just talking about Korra.
There's still 20 minutes to go.
Yeah.
This is the setup.
Let's go.
Skill. Tap into the connectedness of the world to be able to see where anyone currently is. And she learns to face her enemies with compassion and understanding. It's just beautiful writing that's both perfect for Korra as a character and an honest look at the difficulties of healing from a traumatic experience. But Korra isn't the only character who goes through a lot of growth.
It's just
another favorite in this.
The thing is, you will always have tropes in some way or another. The question is, how do you execute them, and how do you wrap them up and connect them, if you have to. And you can just put them on a string and have a story that is basically running from trope to trope. But that's pretty...
That's what Korra is.
Or you can write something that has tropes in it, but pulls them off quite well and is entertaining and gives something to think about. And
i.e. Star Wars, which was a master of tropes and archetypes and still being entertaining.
Yeah, and Star Wars also set up a whole universe. Korra is just bad fan fiction that happens to have the license, like Disney Star Wars. No, let's go with since we are dealing with an imitation piece. Let's go with the Orville. It's an imitation of Star Trek, but it keeps the spirit alive. It uses tropes a lot. It uses Seth MacFarlane's humor a lot. It dies down the further it goes into season 2, and gets more earnest. But full of tropes, and it plays with them, and it's fluently written, if you will. Korra is just shallow, putting pieces together and tries to play it off with goofiness. And this is not how it works. If you see,
Message coming in.
Aang had the Last Airbender had a lot of humor in it, but it wasn't as misplaced. It still had its moments where it fit, and it recovered from that. And interestingly enough, and I watched the Orville earlier this year, what really surprised me, because I'm not generally a fan of Seth MacFarlane's humor, especially in Family Guy. It hit the tone right, and the difference is that, how do I put this? In the Orville, the humor does not triumph over reality. It does not rewrite reality. Reality is not subject. It does not submit to the humor. To the contrary, there are a few scenes. I don't want to spoil it if you haven't watched the Orville yet, because I would really want people to watch that show and make their own opinions about it, and how much more Star Trek it is than some Star Trek even, because it lets you think. It doesn't give you the answer at the end of an episode. It doesn't give you the moral preaching of what the answer is to the moral conundrum or the ethical conundrum we explored, but it just lets it open, lets you think about what might happen now on that planet.
It's pretty rare these days.
Yeah, that blew me away. It gave me respect and love for Seth MacFarlane. I also think he looks like an artist. But I trail off. I know. What I want to say about the humor, there are a few scenes, I think already in the first season, where they do this standard, almost millennial humor. I think lots of the millennial humor is an exaggeration of Seth MacFarlane's humor. But reality just punches back, throws a brick in the face of the characters, and this is a pretty lethal brick, for making these dumb jokes and acting like the most entitled bitches. And it's just, whoa. Reality just hit home. Reality doesn't give a shit about your humor and your entitled smug attitude. You won't get out of this dangerous situation with cracking stupid jokes and being smug and talking down to other people, especially aliens. Korra doesn't work like that. Korra and other shows like it,
lecturing aliens into submission.
Yeah, the humor always
wins. That's what Discovery is, isn't it?
In a way, I mean, in Rick and Morty, it works both ways. Sometimes the joke triumphs over reality, but that is because
it's a comedy show.
Yeah, and because Rick is a dazzling character, he dazzles people with his babbling, just like Doctor Who does. He techno babbles people into confusion, and then they don't shoot him for some reason. But all these other shows here, they fail at that. They are not convincing. They don't have the characters to have the trait of, I technobabble or psychobabble you into confusion so that you don't attack me and I somehow win. They just make goofy faces, goofy remarks, and they should be slapped across the face left and right 20 times for it. but they are not. They instead just win the situation.
Here
And that's what
is
pisses me off.
here's Jake the Surgeon. I was talking about unleashing a flock of German geese. What were you thinking about, you sickos?
I don't know.
I don't
Are they
even.
scarier than Canadian geese?
They're just geese. They just eat grass all day. They're not scary at all.
Are they faster than French geese?
I don't even.
I think they're just more xenophobic.
How long does it take a Canadian geese over a German goose to deliver a coconut from South Africa?
Oh boy.
We got to know the wingspan first.
I haven't even heard. I have not heard. I usually hear geese migrate. I have not heard any this year because it's whatever. I don't know the temperature, but I've not heard them making noise traveling, so I don't know if they're quieter.
How's the weather up there
Today it's actually in the
in
plus.
Mapleville?
It's like, +1, +2, but yesterday it was like -7 or so. Anyway,
sorry for the quite autistic rant right now. I have just several things at once popping up in my head, things that come up here.
that's okay. Don't worry about it. Alex Halo, thank you. They were going to bring that 1,000-face spirit back, but they scrapped that plot.
Scrapped.
He said he would meet Ong again. It never happened. Okay.
Smud, you can't do that to me. His name is Aang.
Ang. Well, I got confused with the single P, and I was like, is that a long A or a short?
Oh.
It's great. Oh, okay.
You're not doing it the Shyamalan way. Ong.
Oh,
No, that sounds sick as hell. I would have watched that, but
yeah. But hey, we don't know the rest of Aang's life, so it could have happened, and it wasn't told because these douchebags were preoccupied with making some golden 20s nonsense in this wonderful Asian mythology world.
I am fine with them not tainting my Aang, my boy.
They killed him.
Don't touch the good
Everyone
thing.
dies, okay, Wisp? I'm sorry to
They
tell
killed
you.
his spirit.
Well,
Oh wait, they did. Oh shit! Oh no! I forgot about. Why'd you have to remind me?
They killed
Now I have
all
to
the
cry.
avatars.
oh,
All of them.
is that
It's
like
now only Korra.
killing all the Jedi ghosts that have passed?
I am all
They
the Jedi.
literally killed the
Of course,
past.
says delete.
Oh, that's not good.
They literally killed the past. No Avatar state anymore.
I bet they got the "I'm old the Jedi" shit from Avatar. I swear to God.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
Let's not.
JJ isn't really known for being creative.
Let's not think that way. Okay. Let's just.
Let's not slip into the
Message coming
sinkhole.
Patching it through.
Anyway, that was just a fun reference for me. Jake the Surgeon, thank you again. Geese aren't mean. Tell that to the flock that I have to fend off every year at my grandpa's pond. Yeah, but they're just eating all the grass, dude. They're gonna cut your lawn for you and shit all
they're
over.
very territorial.
They're
Why do you have to be
fantastic.
so racist against geese, Jake?
But he's right. They're very territorial. If they think you cross them,
Yes.
they'll try to hack your forehead.
They're funny because in Canada they're endangered or we can't kill them, so it's like, oh, okay.
Oh my god! So they can abuse you
We can't
without retaliation.
we can't fight back, so it's like, oh shit.
Perfect.
I hope they never find out about that. They will exploit it.
I remember on my university, the grounds, there was so much geese shit everywhere. So if you wanted to walk just through the around the pond or it's just you just step in every. It's just like, oh, it's every blade of grass. There was something. You knew there was some geese around there. It's just like, okay, this is gross.
Oh my. I can imagine it. There was a pond. It was the same way
Yeah,
back in my last time. But
not pretty. Anyway, back
speaking of
to
goose shit.
back to Legend of Korra.
No!
Oh, funny.
For me is the fact that so many different characters get their own unique arcs. The core Team Avatar group might not be the most tight-knit unit, but that's
What?
because
What? It's a great thing that these people get their own arcs. What?
Oh, arcs.
Secondary
Okay.
characters get development? That's a plus, Steve?
That shouldn't
That's
even
a
be
low
rarity
bar
in book
there.
writing. Yeah, it's a very low bar.
That only works well if the main character is designed so that the focus is not the main character. The focus is the other supporting characters, like with Mad Max Fury
Ensemble
Road.
cast, yeah.
Yeah, well, ensemble cast, everyone gets their turn. But traditionally, you're talking about the Mad Max series. He's just a vehicle for the rest of the characters. So it depends.
He's a framing device. Yeah.
In a sense, yeah. It depends on how you think of them. But for this, if the Legend of Korra is about Korra, why are these secondary characters in the focus? What does that allow for the story to reflect on or use as a device for storytelling?
Yeah.
It's hard to say because you have to actually say, okay, what is the point of Korra in this scene? Oh, just to bring out secondary character A to develop. You're like, all right, that's fine, but how does that help the plot for Korra? And if it doesn't, then it's not a subplot. It's just an episode, and now you're having episodic storytelling, which you may as well be watching some other show and call it, Star Trek or whatever, because we're just going around exploring, and Korra's just going around doing stuff. A life in the day of Korra or whatever. So
Yeah, and this was... Oh, sorry.
you just have to focus the story properly, and then you can attach other plots on top of that, and then you're fine. So this is the same idea I argue if you're going to a steakhouse, you get the side dishes, you get the appetizers, but you damn well better get a steak for your entree. So
We need like a timer for how far into a video you make a steak metaphor.
it's all depending on the argument from
Right.
the YouTuber. So
we got to an hour and 9 minutes before we made a steak metaphor, boys.
I'm just so excited as I bought some $2.50 steaks at a place I always go to. It was 50 cents
That
off.
sounds
So
sketchy.
It's delicious. It's fantastic. They pre-marinated. They're fantastic. Anyway, never mind.
The show spends much time developing characters outside that group too. Janora is my favorite example of this. Her story
She's
of wanting
annoying.
to become a spiritual and airbending master is amazing. The scene where she gets her tattoos at the end of book 3 had me so emotional. She starts off as just a shy, nerdy kid and develops so naturally into a spiritual leader. Her dad Tenzin also has an
Not
interesting
naturally,
arc, first learning to
she-
loosen up a bit in book 1.
I'm in the
and
wrong window.
It's kind of forced.
Yeah,
It sort of happens. She's not developed.
Message coming in.
she
Patch it
is.
through.
Does
She is. It's more like she is somewhat Mary Sue into.
yeah, almost. It's funny to
And then
think, but
she's
it is.
just the amazing, most amazing spirit thingy
Yeah.
around.
You're right. She can astral project and everything. That's what her blue form was.
Yeah, she just does it. It's just, oh, okay, you can do this now. Okay, he's
Uh-huh.
superpower number 3. Skill tree unlocked.
Yeah, and I just remembered what point I was going to say before about centering around other characters, not around Korra, was in the original, they had episodes about the other cast, but because it was an episodic story with a general overarching goal, and each of the episodes had their own goals within them, whereas Korra was very specifically, it has cliffhangers, it has one story lining throughout all of them. So, if anything, going around and spending all this time with other characters is a failing on its part because it doesn't have that framing device like defeat the Fire Lord,
Yeah, and
like the original did.
Yeah, and if you do the long overarching plot, not overarching, the continuous plot, you need to put way more effort into the writing and fleshing out of the characters, and when you do that, in which way, you need to have that planned out from the beginning. You can't just stumble forward. That doesn't work. That works more in this episodic style. Here, but they clearly didn't put that effort in. I don't see it in not a single season. It's just, oh, we need this now, so we add this to the plot. That's what I see is happening here.
All right.
Yeah.
And furthermore, Aang had way fewer characters that you needed that you could focus on for fleshing them out.
All right. Apologies, but apparently I gave the wrong channel to Mike Testa. He wants Sidar's
Message
channel.
coming in.
Patched
it through.
Do you have anything on your channel? I don't even know. Is that her?
I do. I have some long streams where buddies of mine are bitching about Dragon Age, but I am dropping a Let's Play highlight reel pretty soon. It's gonna be a fun time.
All right, there it is.
So subscribe.
There you go.
Yay!
Great.
Thanks for the plug. Anyway.
Let's go.
Yeah. But Korra had a slew of characters all around. She had her own little group. She had Tenzin and his whole family.
Yeah.
She had the old characters and their families.
And then
it had new side characters, villains turned friends, potential villains turned friends, all of that nonsense. The group, the entourages of villains. Sometimes it's just
yeah, and they like show up from multiple.
Characters.
Yeah, these characters are in multiple episodes. This wasn't like they met people in one episode and it was really nice highlight like Haru or like Jet, where they make their scene and it concludes. They're in with the main Korra plot, trying to defeat whatever villain at the time. So I never realized how messy the cast was. Wow.
Imagine, so it's not as extreme as the example I'm going to give now. Imagine D&D from Game of Thrones, writing Game of Thrones from the very beginning, but without any support by George R.R. Martin or reading any of the book material. Or having
they
any
read
of
it
the
anyway.
material summarized. Yeah, they didn't read it anyway. But yeah, like them making a Game of Thrones show, being thrown in the characters. These are the characters you are writing with. But now make a show with that. This is kind of what happened here. This is kind of if you've read the comic Lucifer, which is a spin-off from Sandman, and what happened to watched the Netflix adaptation.
Oh God, don't! Oh my God.
That's kind of what that would have been.
Okay, the Mike Carey version of Lucifer was absolutely brilliant, and even Gaiman was impressed by what Carey could do because Lucifer was so nefarious. He was so wicked.
I adore that comic.
100 comics, fantastic. The whatever, not the Netflix, but it got bought out by Netflix. Whatever was the CW. I can't remember what the hell started it. Imagine Austin Powers as Lucifer.
Yeah. Oh.
That's what it is.
Oh, I'm just imagining. Hey, baby.
I'm not joking.
It is the opposite of the book of the comic character.
And he tries to be British, and well, he is a British man, but he tries to be.
He's sort of a funny boy.
He's so bad at being British. He tries to be British.
It's
oh my God.
Okay.
And the comic Lucifer is not a sunny boy. He's a stoic. I don't even what he's well written to be
sad
another
gamer boy.
being.
He is so above everyone. He does not like. If you were to spit on his face, he'd be like, "I don't really like you. Not
I don't care."
I'm above such feelings.
He's the well-written personification of someone seeking freedom by not wanting to be attached to anything, which includes not having responsibility for anything. That's why he doesn't rule hell. He just left it because fuck this shit.
Oh, that's a fun premise. I've actually never read the comics or seen the show. So.
Well,
that's just the character set up in Sandman in just one page, and the whole Lucifer comic is a spin-off from that one page.
Sort of. We're talking about how Gaiman wanted David Bowie in his comic, so he asked his artist, "Give me David Bowie," and the guy was like,
I remember it.
The guy was like, "What are you talking about? Just draw David Bowie." And then he wrote him a certain way, and then he wasn't quite like that one scene where he abandons hell which is not the Seasons of Mist. What the hell is that arc? I can't remember the trade paperback.
I don't remember. It's been over 10 years that I read.
Yeah, but then he changed him up so that he's a bit more, because he wanted to destroy Morpheus, and he didn't get the chance because Morpheus dies and whatever. So they switched him up a bit to be less emotional and much more hardcore stoic. I don't give a shit sort of attitude. But after the Carrie run, there was another run which was really bad. And they brought it back a second time, which is actually decent and it's still going on. So,
but the Lucifer comic goes on.
Yeah, they brought it back, and it's shit.
Oh no,
it's shit. It came back. It was bad, and then the second time,
it has to be.
Oh.
The ending was brilliant.
Oh yeah, I know. It was fantastic. I was like, oh my god, this is crazy.
That's an ending that I couldn't. In my wildest dreams, I couldn't have come up with that ending.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
I guess I have to go and read these.
Oh god, yeah, they're fantastic.
Oh yeah, Lucifer is.
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, that is writing.
Anyway, Mike Carey is fantastic. I love Mike Carey, but let's get back to the video. Kyle Rocket, hold on. Netflix Lucifer is actually pretty good. Compared to what? I mean, hysterectomy?
Compared to what? What are you doing?
Tooth canal?
It's just to character names
getting
and
punched in
names
the face?
of places and what the fuck?
Someone biting your ass? Like what is your idea of pleasure when you watch this?
This is the CalArts Teen Titans Go. I don't. This is the Netflix Lucifer is the new Thundercats.
Oh my god.
Oh no, the Thundercats Go bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's what the Netflix Lucifer is.
Usually I don't like the arguments. It's better in the book.
They made a family drama out of it.
They made a police procedural bullshit romance story, and it's dumb. It's literally a police procedural with Lucifer falling in love with the detective, but he's freaking sleeping around with everyone else, and you're like, what is this shit?
Oh, that sounds like a terrible premise in the first place, but damn.
There's one episode where they're interviewing all these people, and they've all slept with Lucifer in the past month, and you're just like, this is dumb. This is absolutely stupid.
Someone's too horny on Maine. Please take the pen away.
Yeah, no, it's brutal. Anyway, read the comic. You'll change your mind. Thank you. Let's go.
And then learning in book 2 that he's his own person outside of being Aang's son. The way that realization clears away the fog and allows him to save his family is so clever. I also just love getting to see him finally unleash his full power in book 3 against Zahir. And the Legend of Korra loves a good redemption. Suyin and Kai are both fun, interesting characters with relatively similar backstory. They both got into some trouble when they were young, then were given another chance instead of being locked away, and they became great people. After Suyin was caught working with a gang, she was sent out on her own and founded Zaofu, while Kai was an orphan who was stealing to survive and was given another chance in the new Air Nation. He goes on to play a critical role in helping save Korra, but both of these characters, had they not been given another chance, would have been in prison for a long, long time.
Is this his idea of what a redemption arc is? This is some like Lily Orchard bullshit being like, you can't be enemies to friends to lovers or whatever because they're inherently abusive or whatnot. They weren't that bad of a people to be redeemed in the first place.
And it's too long ago that I recall enough details to pick this apart. But I hope that people who watch this here see that this is the most superficial take on everything. It's just a retelling of everything. It's not things just happen in Korra because the plot demands it, because the plot wants it. It's not the characters aren't really redeemed. They don't have these deep epiphanies, realizations. They don't have the big guilt and share that. They don't have the great inner change. It's just, the plot demands that you are redeemed now, so you have you have the redemption scene.
It's not like they ever really get. Well, one, they never really did anything that had severe consequences, and they were never really punished for that. And then they just sort of join the good guys, which is fine. It's just generic rogue backstory. It wasn't really redemption. So there wasn't anything to redeem, really. No, there was shitty delinquent. That's what I was thinking. Delinquent children, but whatever. You know, this isn't Zuko, who hunted the main cast for one whole season.
And then became friends.
Oh god, it was great. Zuko's lovely.
Yeah, but that was a great... That's how that's executed right. You build that up over a long time. You have
Better than right.
Zuko struggles all the time with himself.
Message coming in.
Introspection, something that neither of these two roguish characters really ever have about what they were doing. Or if they did, it obviously didn't make enough of an impact for me to remember.
All right, we got to address Lucifer again. Thanks. Jake the Surgeon, hold on. Let's not throw unfair comparisons. Lucifer isn't that bad as a show in its own. Okay, so let's imagine...
When it wants to be a show on its own, then it should be a show on its own and not derived from another franchise.
Let's imagine that I know nothing about Lucifer the comic or whatever. Okay, so I'm just watching the show. There's a better show out there to compare it to, and that's called The Mentalist. You have an external third-party guy coming into a police shindig. They do, murder investigations, and he has his wily ways, and he knows how to coax information out of people. With Lucifer, he says, "What do you really desire?" And then they say, "I wish I were a rabbit," or whatever bullshit, and they spew all their guts, and you're just like, okay, that's fine, and it just keeps going on and on. But then throw in all the Judeo-Christian bullshit, which is like an episode of like supernatural crap, and it's like a guy with like rubber wings on his back, and it's like, oh, fuck this. Like, no, it's a stupid, silly police procedural pile of crap. It's derivative. It tries to tie in a better story. And again, if I don't know that story, I know police procedurals. I can compare it to those. And those themselves are way better. And I hate police procedurals because I've seen most of them. Those are much better done than Lucifer. The only thing that's redeemable that you could say is entertaining and fun is because he's such a jerk and weird whatever that the relationship between him and the detective is entertaining, at least, because he's trying to woo her, but she knows he's a pervert weirdo, but she ends up loving him anyway. And it's just like, okay, I guess after 3 years of crap, I guess you could become attached to someone just by process of association, just like constantly, like, there's Steve. What's he doing? Oh, he's perving on everything. Oh, that's kid Steve. Let him go.
Hello, Quagmire.
Yeah.
Want to go play pool?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, he's hitting on the women again.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I've said this in discussions in other places. You can like the Lucifer show, and I tried to in the first season before I noticed how much it just goes off the rails. You can like it, but only if you haven't read the comic. If you've read the comic, you will despise it because of how it wasted this license.
Yes, I'm sure the ruler of the damned is just like, I'm just gonna chill out with my detective friend and solve crimes because because and then he meets God.
This is some anime plot.
Yeah,
shit.
And then he meets God, and he's so like he just meets God, and God's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I'm sorry. You're like, what? That's like the entire plot of the universe is just resolved in about 2 seconds. You're just like,
yeah. None of these characters have anything to do with the characters in the comic. Aside from their names and maybe a few superficial cues.
It is worse than Supernatural. Okay, and Supernatural is the cheesiest, stupidest. Like, just I need to talk about mythology in a thriller, gore, slasher, whatever freak of the week plot, right? And this is worse than that.
Message coming in.
Oh God, that's a low bar to hit below it. Damn.
Yeah.
If you want a good mix of police nonsense and Power Rangers, watch Winspector. That was better.
I'm just remembering some of the scenes in that I really...
I killed Smart.
Yeah, the scenes from Supernatural, which are so... Like, this show is dumb. It's absolutely stupid. But there are some really great scenes of, like, death. Like, that... when you think of death, like, holy shit, that dude is not fucking around. Okay, that dude is really serious.
Sick interpretation.
Like, yeah, he is like, I'm serious. Okay, I'm not showing off. I'm not like when you think of when Neil Gaiman writes gods, they're like, oh, that would be a personification of a god.
Mm-hmm.
When you have Tom Holland, what was his name? Tom Welling from Smallville, Superman, play Adam, and he just wants to die because he can't be killed, and he's trying to kill everyone else. You're like, wait a second, did I miss something here? Why is he trying to kill everyone else if he himself wants to die? It's this bizarre like scenario of conflict. Let's just cause problems. It's like, but you want to die. You've told Lucifer that. He knows that. He wants to help you. Why are you fighting him? Like, why is this happening? Like, none of this makes any goddamn sense. Anyway, we're not here to talk about this. I'm done. Let's keep going. Mike Testa. Objection. He was annoying. The thievery. Riley lied. What are we talking about there?
Oh, this is the little thief kid from Korra. He was saying that the little thief kid went on a redemption arc because he became a better person. And the super chatter is saying that Riley lied. Actually, he enjoyed the thievery and never thought it was bad. Yeah, so even worse, what Riley claims happened didn't even happen.
Thanks for the reminder.
Okay, good. Thank you, Mike. Here's Jake the Surgeon. Ooh, $10. Look at that. Adaptation arguments are weak when assessing pure quality. Sure. The comic very well could do better. I don't know. I think the comic was pretty darn impressive.
Yeah, it's one of the best comics I've read in my life.
I agree. Yeah, it is that good. It is that good. Godzilla 98 isn't garbage because it fails to adapt. It sucks because it's a terribly written movie. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, an adaptation is its own creature.
Yeah, I say the Lucifer Netflix show fails as an adaptation massively.
Yeah, because...
But I also dislike the quality it has in itself.
Right.
Well, adaptation is another rubric with which to judge something from.
Yeah,
and if you...
even without the adaptation being a metric we used in assessing the quality, I find the Lucifer show obnoxious.
Yeah, when you
it focuses on sex and nonsense instead of the interesting parts.
When you listen to the interviews of Neil Gaiman, one I just read from last week or listened to last week, I think he was part of some online Comic-Con in Brazil or whatever, and he was talking about the influences that he has because all of his stuff is getting turned into TV shows or Netflix or whatever. Like Coraline, Gods, American Gods, all kinds. There's all kinds of shows. Anyway, he was saying in the beginning, I didn't really have much of a say at the table when they were doing creative ideas. Now he has a voting right. He could actually say no to certain things and the shows he's involved with now. So the ones he didn't have a say with, I bet, were this adaptation. Because when I heard about it, I was like, that's cool. That's going to be great. It's Neil Gaiman. You can't screw that up.
I don't remember the Lucifer comic. Did Gaiman actually write on that? Or
No,
was
he
it
didn't.
someone else?
No.
I thought it was someone else.
Yeah.
Oh, there's different strokes for different folks, and Lucifer has stroked many different folks. That's what Jorman, I can't pronounce that.
Jormungandr Lokison?
Yeah.
I'm going to call you Jory.
Jory.
There you go. Anyway.
Lokison. Okay.
I have nothing against creatures that are highly sexual and very flirtatious and they can charm anyone. I think that's that's why I compare it to The Mentalist, because The Mentalist was this guy who was looking for his family's murderer, and he had this way of talking to people to bring them out of their shell and open them up that the cops couldn't do, and plus of other mental tricks that a mentalist would have that would be fantastic, that the police force would love and hate because he's so quirky. And this is the same idea, only instead of him trying to
message coming in,
sleep with everyone,
patching it through,
he was getting the suspects to open up and reveal things about themselves they weren't expecting that they were showing in their face or whatever. So it's the same
plot
idea.
relevance.
I think this is something that put me off, especially about the Netflix show, because it had a sex focus with Lucifer, and the comic version of the character couldn't care less about such a mundane, boring thing.
The only mention of sex, which is interesting, is because his relationship with Mazikeen was so strong.
Yeah, and that is not even one of Eros, a common thing of love, but of mutual respect for each other.
They joke about it
because he denied having a real attachment.
Well, the thing is
that went against his principle.
The angels in the game and comic don't have any genitalia, so it's an ongoing joke right near the end of the series where one of the girls asks, "How do you even make love to him?" And Mazikeen whispers in her ear, and all you see is her face go. That was it. That was the sex. That was it. That was the explanation. So
he still has an anus.
No. Look.
No, okay, but
it's all about
the
getting the woman to smile from ear to ear
and
never stopping.
Oh,
all right.
How sweet! What a simp.
Could be better than the show. I need to stop blanking out. It's okay, Jake. We all screw up, but don't waste $5 on a grammar error. Okay.
Oh.
All right.
But I was thinking it kind of loops back around, but Netflix kind of has a thing about injecting unnecessary sex into basically everything these days. And when it loops back around to Avatar is that Netflix is coming out with a live action Avatar, and they have age swapped the two female kids to be older. And everyone's like, why? Why are you making Katara 16 and older than Sokka? And why are you making Azula older than Zuko? And everyone's absolutely losing their shit that they're going to do some more of their bullshit, this unnecessary sexual whatever appeal.
Oh boy, here we go. Tyler Preston, thank you for the donation. From your description of Lucifer TV show, it has me thinking of the 90s show Forever Night. It was about a reformed vampire who becomes a police officer to fight crime, but Forever Night is a good show. And the reason why I know that reference is because it was set in Toronto. So yes, I remember watching that show as well. And he had he had a bottle of cow's wine or blood in his fridge because he was a painter. That was his excuse for having blood in his fridge.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a much better show.
Red sounds sus.
Yeah. There's all kinds of great cheap ass kitschy Toronto miniseries like Kindred, which I think it was in Toronto, but that's based off Vampire the Masquerade, and it's absolutely great. It's fantastic. I love it. And it's on YouTube. You can watch it.
Oh, cool. I still need to play it. I have it downloaded and modded.
Oh my god.
Message coming in.
I'll film it.
Why have you not played Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines? Why? What are you doing? Get off the stream right now.
ADHD ass saw something else.
Get off.
A lot of going to my head.
Start this woman doesn't even want to. She's gone. She's really fuck you.
Is she gone?
Come back.
She's gone. No, don't go.
Great.
I thought it was average.
Look, this woman doesn't even want to smile from ear to ear like a goofball.
Me? I'm always smiling.
How would she appreciate Vampire the Masquerade? Look, you need to start. If you play Vampire the Masquerade, first you install the community patch.
I did.
Gets rid of some game-breaking bugs, and then the first playthrough is as a Malkavian.
No.
It has to be.
No.
It has to be as a Malkavian.
Don't listen to him.
Has to be as a Malkavian.
Wrong. The second playthrough is a Malkavian.
No, the second playthrough is
I wanted to play as the ones that looked like bats, the really gross looking ones.
Yes,
first.
do that. Yes, that's a great idea. That is the hardest playthrough. Do it.
Playthrough. That's okay. That's okay, but
Wisp.
I'd say it's better second, yes?
No, dude.
Yes.
You're ruining the entire experience. That just
No, I don't. No, I don't.
He's getting so mad about this.
Dude.
Because the Malkavian It's constantly spoiling the plot, and you don't even understand it. It's brilliant.
No, I
no.
know the playthrough that the Makavians next because they have like I don't know future powers. I watched like a 5-minute review of it from someone else that was funny that explained it slightly, and I was like, oh, okay.
And
it was
the reason why, aside from the plot spoilers, even if you don't know them, is there's so many other Easter eggs in that. If you didn't play the game the first time, you'd be like, why is this happening? Because when you play the Malkavian the second time, as the second playthrough, it's like, why is the TV talking to me?
Oh,
you can argue with a stop sign.
Oh my god!
Why is the radio talking? Like, it's just brilliant. It's absolutely crazy because you don't pay attention, and you realize that was a different sound clip than what I remember.
Yeah,
and it's creepy because they're talking to you.
I understand that you can like it more if you already played through the game and thus know the plot, and thus pick better up on what the Malkavian character is foreshadowing, because the Malkavian knows the future without understanding it. Which leads to all the other characters just thinking, oh, it's a Malkavian, it's just talking nonsense, okay. Because they don't understand you talking about the future either. But the great thing is, it was my personal fun, maybe because I'm autistic, and some people link that to being a bit Malkavian, I read these lines and I thought, oh, this might be going to happen. Oh, this might be part of the plot. It gave me something to think and puzzle around. It was fun.
That is true.
I'm going to play it second playthrough, don't worry.
That is truly fun, I agree. But I'd rather people have a normal, run-of-the-mill, maybe Nosferatu third playthrough. I would say 1 is fine, but Nosferatu changes the game a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Everyone hates you and stuff.
It's you can't be seen at all.
Right.
I don't know any of the plot. I just know that they explained exactly do it that order. The whatever first, Makavian second, and the Nosferatu once you get good at it.
So, like, if you want a good comparison, Toreador, and then transition, and the second playthrough would be Nosferatu, and then whatever you like. So,
how about a compromise?
A compromise.
If you're a normal person, start normal, then go Nosferatu, then go Malkavian. If you're bloody awful like me, start Malkavian.
I'll put it on a spinner.
It's fine too.
We'll do a random spinner, whatever. If it drops on Malkavian, then God willed it, comrade.
All right. We're not
going to... The great thing is you may not have a single idea what you're even telling to the other characters in the dialogue options. It's great.
Someone said I came for Wisp Rage, got Smud Rage.
Okay, there's a reason why. Oh. There's a reason why people love this game, and I want you to have the most,
Oh no, I'll definitely do what you say.
Completely, I completely agree with you. I think it's different for different people, and I'm a very weird weirdo. Don't take me too seriously when I say play Malkavian first. But
yes,
play Malkavian first.
Malkavian is brilliant. Toreador is normal. Bruja is normal. Gangrel, and those are very similar. I'm always the Tremere kind of. I just like blood magic, but Toreador is really brilliant. I like that because you could charm people. Like, charm magic is brilliant, I think, as well.
Oh, charm magic. Oh, I'm gonna have to play as the slut then.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's
Stop
fun.
Self-insert.
Yeah.
You can't stop me.
Although it's a great way to play Mary Sue.
I'm always a Mary Sue. I'm a Mary Sue. My name is Mary Sue. Didn't you know?
Vampires are effectively Mary Sues, just that they don't come across as that because every other vampire is also a Mary Sue. And it's about a vampire, so they can actually kill each other.
What a hot take.
Yes, it's also a very dumb take, but
I shall develop this take and I will say it to everyone around. Just how like
tiramisu, caffeine, and tea. After I'm done with this cup, the rum's coming out.
Jesus! Oh my God.
Wait, one last thing, and then we'll get back to it. So, is chili a salsa? That's a hot take.
Not really, no.
No.
It's hot, but it's not salsa.
Salsa sauce. Chili is an actual meal.
Yeah. Oh, that was pretty slapped down. I can't remember what the original was. I don't think it was chili, but anyway.
Well, to me, okay, I love food, so chili is almost a perfect meal. like by itself. It is. If you look at the ingredient list and how you eat it and what you can do with it, it's just so transformable. So it's great. Chili con carne, you could put into a burrito, you could put into soup, you could put into a hamburger, you can make all kinds of wonderful things with chili.
But only when it's really thick.
Well, yeah, some people put cream in, some people, thicken it up, whatever. That's fine.
Do you eat them with cinnamon rolls?
What?
I guess
Are you pregnant?
No, it's a Kansas thing. My mom always made me chili and cinnamon rolls.
Is that the state where everyone marries their cousin?
Yeah.
No, that's Alabama. Kansas, we all just die on the prairie.
From eating chili with cinnamon rolls, I bet.
Maybe it's the only thing my mom did, because honest to God, at this point, I think no one eats cinnamon rolls with chili. I didn't realize that was a combo. She would just always make cinnamon rolls after. I was like, ooh, dessert.
In America, when you say cinnamon roll, you mean coronary bypass. Okay.
Yeah, we mean that the pastries from the can, like the Pillsbury thing, where you have to open a landmine to get the dough out.
Yeah. And then if you put chili on top of that, your pancreas just goes nope.
Chili on top of it. No, we just eat it with it. You eat the chili, and then you eat the cinnamon roll. You don't dip the cinnamon roll in the chili.
I think this is your family thing, not an actual Kansas thing.
It might be.
I don't mean to be offensive, but that doesn't sound right.
Reality checks are wonderful.
Okay, I could be wrong, but let's just try to keep going.
Patching it through.
No.
Oh boy.
Listen to Riley.
Jake the Surgeon. Yeah, you're not my real dad, Smud. I can burn my money any way I want. All right. I mean, that's fine.
What? You don't want Smud to be? No, I'm not going to say it.
Unless you want investment advice, I can't help you. Okay. Jake the Surgeon, Glass Kansai. What?
That's a wonderful typo. Glass Kansai. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, back to Riley, I guess.
No.
Okay, let's go back. Oh, sorry, I got to go back to a donation here from Mark of the Third Dimension. So all these Marks.
Hi, Mark.
It's so uncanny to hear sudden enthusiasm in your voice, Smud. I almost got a heart attack. You're right, though. Get off the stream and play the game. You see, they're giving me money to remind you what you're doing wrong with your life.
I am such a failure. Sorry, I'm not playing.
If you were an RPG gamer,
I'm telling you a personal story about that game with me. It had to be pushed on me for a time as well, because I was in a very bad time, very depressed. I barely got to play games, although I had a lot of time at the time. And then I finally did. And man, was it an amazing experience. Even though I was in a really bad spot, that thing lifted me up because it was so brilliantly written.
Wait a second.
Brilliant, vibrant, dark, ugly world.
Setter, didn't we have a conversation like months ago about this? And then you bought the game on a whim after I said so, and you installed it?
Welcome to my ADHD ass.
And you completely forgot about it all this time?
Don't.
I didn't necessarily forget. I just saw it, and then I saw something else in my peripheral vision.
Oh my god!
And my crow brain went ooh shiny.
Oh my god!
And I played Stardew Valley again for another month.
She's a horrible gamer. I can't help her. She's done.
I'm kicked off Smudcast.
You should be.
Am I a fake gamer girl now because I haven't played it? I'm a fake gamer.
I think we could award the title temporarily, at least.
That's okay, I'll record it. I'll go play it. I'll play it right after this.
It's like buying a limited edition of Legend of Zelda and just keeping it on your desk for 2 years and like, oh, you'll get around to it.
I would actually do that.
Anyway, we're going to stop talking about the best game ever and get on with the video. So here's Roan Hirushin. Oh God, not this wackadoo. Yes, this wackadoo. Yes, we're doing it right now.
The show's emphasis
coming in.
on rehabilitation and how
Patching
it
it
uses these characters to make the point that locking people away is wrong because it doesn't give them the support they need to really thrive and reach their full potential. And speaking of Kai, these glider suits that the airbenders get in book 4 are the
They're
coolest
so
things
dumb.
ever. I love
No, they're
them.
really dumb and
No, they're-
stupid and embarrassing.
It really is embarrassing looking. It's just, I guess that's subjective. I don't know.
They don't even have a proper pose with their legs. It's like they're hanging on threads.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
And
funny.
the-
They're hanging on threads, but this is animation. There's no reason they shouldn't have proper form.
Yeah, the great thing is the airbenders had a form of air travel. Limited with their little
their
air balls
gliders.
that Aang was riding on.
Yeah,
And that as well.
yeah. That wouldn't be hard to recreate. Like, I guess
Yeah.
this is that has to be new. But
We
also, I just realized that Riley.
technology.
New technology. Riley's trying to make this as a point for Korra that the airbender suits were cool. That's a fucking weak ass point. That's it.
It looks so dumb. It also takes
speaking of
away all the
the way her-
mysticism of the airbenders.
Oh, everything in the show takes away the
The
mysticism.
airbenders were supposed to be the most spiritual of them all. The most philosophical and enlightened, and then you give them jumpsuits. Really? Way to break with tradition.
Airbenders can already fly. It's useless to them. Yeah, basically.
relationship with Heels over book 3 is incredible. I love the scene of Lin going to the acupuncturist and having these flashes of memories, and their fight scene
That's how
afterwards
acupuncture
is
works.
awesome.
You
It's so interesting
like that a character has flashes because there's character drama. I'm glad you like basic rudimentary story. And flashbacks aren't that great anyway.
Literally most other shows.
Yeah, I'm
Let's
glad
have a
you like
flashback.
every show in existence.
The thing happens, flashback. There was one show, I don't remember which it was. It did flashbacks all the fucking time to explain what just happened.
Oh, that would be Kung Fu: The Legend Continues, or Kung Fu in general. Every episode has a flashback.
Last of Us 2 also did that all the time to justify whatever happened in the plot. And
God, please don't bring that up.
Do not invoke thy name.
I understand.
There were flashbacks in a flashback in a dream sequence.
What?
Oh my.
Are
It
you
was.
In The
serious?
Last of Us 2?
Is that an actual example?
I can show it to you. Yeah, it's ridiculous, and
Oh, there.
Wow. Wow.
it's yeah.
I didn't even write such shit when I was in third grade and was writing creatively for fun.
It's not a good idea.
Yep.
It's-
But yeah.
Don't do that.
Anyway, let's please not talk about that. Let's keep going.
Oh God.
to learn about how torn apart and what Lin needs to be able to move on. The Legend of Korra really excels at having complex, nuanced characters. Opal, who starts off as a quiet, sheltered person afraid to even ask her mom if she can leave Zaofu, grows up to become a powerful airbender who's not afraid of anyone and always stands up for herself. Even Varric has an interesting arc.
No. that's
Varric is the
really
only one who has an
generalized.
arc.
Yeah, like, oh my god, they changed slightly arbitrarily. Whoop.
In book 4, where he betrays Kuvira and goes on this little adventure with Bolin to give the viewer a peek into how people are fighting back against Kuvira. It's really clever storytelling, and I love all
because
of these
the whole Kuvira
characters.
plot is
Even
dumb
the
and
villains
shallow
in this
and
series have
superficial.
such interesting and varied motivations. They're not just evil for the sake of being evil. They all see some kind of injustice in the world.
Well,
And they're
like,
idiots about it.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
fine.
they're idiots about it.
They're as much idiots about it as oh no, I can't invoke that.
I do remember we covered a video like this before a few months back, where they were talking about the motivation of the characters and like the ceiling of bending powers and this and that. It's like, well, how does that change? Because the resource are the people. That's what they were arguing again. Was it Renegade Cut who was saying this? But he was trying to make the argument that the resources are not the people, or they're part of the super class or some bullshit, and therefore it's just you're removing a feature of the super class so that the people have power again. And you're just like, no, it's just they're just people who have an ability that other people don't have. That's all it is. There's nothing inherently special about it. It's just you are good at a thing, and someone else
they're
can't do that thing, so they're not going to be good at it. That's all it is.
They're just random people with blue eyes and blonde hair.
Yeah,
like,
they have gifts that some people don't have. But equalizing everyone to not having bending powers is like, well, why would you do that? Like, everyone would just do other things to make energy or to bake bread.
For one, it's just jealousy. It's jealousy driven, like communism, by the way.
Yeah,
like
everyone has to be the same, like the communist. Everyone.
Yeah, and the secret is, Amon had powers.
What that was? Oh God! They
Do you think
he
would have gotten rid of his own? Never.
Oh yeah, no. The whole idea of him having powers and not just being what he was at face value was dumb. And the people like, oh, there needs to be a twist. What a twist! He has a bender. Yeah, no, it's.
I could have, and I could have bought this whole that non-benders had developed some special martial arts to temporarily disable benders if they're fast enough. Okay,
yeah, cool.
Okay, that would have been an interesting general threat that is now part of the world, and it's non-mechanical, non-technological. It's just there. People figured this out somehow. Benders will overpower them if they're not fast enough, because of course.
Right.
This would have been interesting, but no. We just do some weird shit with it. And it never turns up again, I think.
Patching it through.
Our Master brings up a good point. Riley completely forgot about the Dark Avatar plot, where literally the dude was evil for evil. Like, at first it was supposed to be a complex with the Civil War, but bruh, it was good versus evil. Straight up.
Yeah, and
they
really
even
dumb.
say it light and dark. You ain't slick with that.
Oh, boy.
So
it's not even order versus chaos or life versus death.
Yeah, what the actual yin yang represents.
It's just good versus evil. So
I know, because also the black one is actually the female in actual Taoism.
Yeah,
I hate
chaos.
to tell you, feminists, but Taoism thinks you're chaotic.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really argue with it. I really can't say it's wrong.
But the thing is, so the male is represented as order in that dichotomy.
Yeah.
Because men build a society and rule it, and the women, they just shake it up once in a while, and especially at home.
Oh, Jesus. I mean,
Come on.
Here's Jake the Surgeon. They have blonde hair and blue eyes. They have special powers. Germany intensifies.
See, he got it.
The only Germans that really have blue eyes and blonde hair are the Frisians in the north at the coast and the Saxons. Everyone else is kind of mixed and yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I bet it's not every German's blue-eyed, blonde-haired boy.
Yeah, and where I come from in the east, it's blonde, blue-eyed. Isn't that common actually?
Yeah, those are actual recessive traits, so I don't know how prevalent they would be. You'd get more heterozygous characters than not, so they would be in the minority.
Well, people at the coast are more related to the Scandinavians, and well, the Saxons, where they get around.
All right, 6.5 minutes in. We're never going to finish today. Okay.
Oh, jeez. Oh, let's see if we let him run for a while.
All right.
And do what they fight to make it better. I think that's the best kind of villain. A villain who has good intentions and is kind of right, but goes about it in the wrong way. Pretty much.
You mean like communists?
How about villains that go about it in the right way? They'd still be villains.
Yeah, it's...
Everyone would love them.
Yeah.
What? Because you see your ideology reflected in these people, you have to be like, oh, they had a point. They're just kind of wrong,
They just misunderstood.
You can't actually see him for what the narrative is trying to tell you.
I mean, you could have a villain who does everything for the people that the people love, but he has the capability of being violent, but he never uses it because he's better than that. But when push comes to shove and then something fight breaks out, he can actually defend himself and kick ass. So he has all these skills and abilities that he's not using because he's smart. He's a smart villain. He's not wasting all this revelations.
Energy.
Yeah, he's not breaking walls down because the avatars are bad. We have to make everyone the same.
And what people like Riley never understand and never will and cannot, by definition and by dogma, is that neo-Nazis think they are the good guys. They think they're making the world better. They have good intentions. They just have really bad ideas about what a better world might look like and what needs to be done to achieve it. But personally, they think they have good intentions and they think they make the world better. Like every fucking person in history.
They just went about it the
There
wrong
have been
way.
very few people who have really done evil for evil's sake in positions of power.
I remember alien worlds that you could argue are designed to be a certain way that you may not agree with. So they're, by virtue of being alien and cruel and brutal, they're bad. I could look at the Chronicles of Riddick, where the whole world is, I guess, the world of the setting, rather, is controlled by necromongers. And they have this very brutalist philosophy that whatever you kill, you keep. So that's the whole mentality of these people. So there's really nothing nice about them. They're just there to butcher people and take everyone else's stuff. But Riddick is able to combat with these fellows and combat the king or whatever, the leader, and become the king or become the leader. So that is brutal setting where, there's nothing wrong about that, even though we know it's violent and bad, but there's really no opposition. So there's no one or two or one versus the other.
In.
It's just brutal. So is that good? Is that bad? No, that's the norm. That's the society. So
is norm good or bad? Yeah,
does that make them the best kind of villain? No, I would never say that's the best kind of villain. It's silly.
In the beginning of Korra, before I picked up that something is completely wrong with this show, I liked the Amon plot because at first it depicted the real problems with this obsession with equality or equity, rather. Quite well. I mean, even Korra got into a protest and then said the quippy line of, "Oh, maybe you are the ones oppressing," or something like that. She turned the thing around, to what it actually was. Don't remember the exact words. And it seemed like it was actively and well criticizing this whole notion of making everyone equal with force. That this could only be achieved with authoritarian and very inhumane measures, and is only built on resentment. That seemed well done at first, but then the execution fell apart.
Yeah, they really couldn't stick to their guns, but it also seems to happen that a lot of writers kind of stumble their way into writing these interesting characters as being takes on something, being like, oh yeah, this really reflects about how this one thing happening in real life can actually be a bad thing, but they just dive straight into being with that thing that we thought they were criticizing. And that's a lot of things and things, but it just happens a lot. Why can't you just stick with it being bad? Why can't you have some balls?
Mm-hmm. Here's a good...
On top of that, I believe that by the end of Korra, if they would have done the Amon plot after how much the SJW thing had blown up by then, I don't think they would have done the Amon plot.
Yeah.
I don't think they would have done this half-assed criticism of obsession with equality.
It's not really even they never say that the equality is the bad thing. It's just the way that Amon is going about it. So it's never even critiquing it.
That's the theme of all the Korra villains.
Yeah,
they have this ideal, but it's all executed wrongly.
Yeah.
Here is Mike Testa giving us some lore on the whole Amon plot. They also do bloodbending wrong. It needs the moon or the full moon.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, but he was the special Mary Sue because he magically didn't.
Yeah, and the explanation from Testa later is, and their lame excuse is, I got better at bloodbending. So he just yeah.
Oh yeah, right.
Didn't need
Yeah, it's the same thing with like the lightning. Like they came up with these cool things and they were so cool, but they had no self-restraint. That they just kept using it, and they're like, oh, we don't want the limitations on this, so let's just say, well, the Sparky Boom Man was weird and mysterious, so like maybe more people existed like that, which that is actually a quote from their logic of why they did the bloodbending.
Oh my god.
But they don't
Boom Man.
understand that
Cool
less is
because
more.
they are rare. That's what makes them cool. You can have all the spells in the world in your show, but if everyone can do everything, it's just boring. The things that are restricted are interesting because who could have seen that this was going to happen? Because this is the thing that by the rules of the world are very hard to achieve.
I'm not sure how taking away someone's bending powers changes the world in a significant positive way. That seems like a curse that you place on someone.
Yeah, they're also not introducing anything new. Like Avatar was doing this. All the elements had their except Aang with air, had their exceptional variants. Like bloodbending for water, metal bending for earth, that had to be discovered. No one could do that before. And what was it for fire? Lightning.
Oh yeah, lightning.
So very, very difficult and deadly for the user. And great things. Korra just has it all. Just everyone can do it. Or almost everyone. We're not introduced to limitations on these. Just people are just doing this. Lightning benders are just employed in a power plant.
You want to hear a bullshit explanation about the lightning bending that I heard? That someone was like, oh, this is why everyone can suddenly lightning bend. It was because the royal family was hoarding fire breaks for themselves. And that's why actually everyone can lightning bend, but they wanted to control the people. But no, they specifically said lightning bending required absolute control of your emotions because it was pure energy that you had to control. Yeah, and if there was like any slip up, it would go and die.
I wonder how many people killed themselves with that. And in the other way around, if you take the original lore seriously, that would mean that everyone who can lightning bend in this show in Korra, it has to be able to be super stoic.
Yeah, and Mako, no.
Mako isn't that at all. He's not even emotionally mature properly.
Yeah, well, I guess he is technically a teenager.
Yeah, he's more mature than Korra, that's no question, but...
Well, okay, Azula could lightning bend, and she was 15.
Azula, I think I'd say Azula is I think she
has a personality
I can imagine
disorder.
that she works it through. Yes, not just one. I would say that Azula could do it because of her sheer absolute force of will.
Mm-hmm.
That she's so that she can be at moments so hyper focused on something to achieve that. But otherwise, in her normal state, she would just fail because she's just a ball of rage and jealousy and neuroticism. Okay. But in the moment of a fight, she's just a ball of wrath, and that is a pinpoint thing.
Okay.
Do you want to get through this?
All right, Jake the Surgeon, thank you. Predator society is structured around hunting and honor and a strict code that breaking results in exile or death. Yeah, so how do you make a villain in a world where everyone's just a marauder or hunter person? You can do it.
Society is the villain.
The problem is the aliens don't really communicate very well to the audience. So it's like, I will kill you.
Yeah, I don't think that's about heroes and villains in that case. That's just about who survives better.
Who kills the best, the most efficiently, yeah. Are they good? Are they bad? Did they kill the best? I don't know. Anyway.
The villains change the world in some significant positive way. Republic City gets a president. The spirit world joins the physical world, reviving the Air Nation. And
That
the
was so
monarchy in
bad.
the Earth Kingdom ends when Prince Wu decides to abdicate the throne and hold elections. Zahir and Kuvira
It's just
especially
things
are my
happen.
favorite villains. I love the idea that one of the people who gets airbending is a super powerful villain. That's a really interesting concept since we've always known the air nomads as being so peaceful. And for
That's
yeah,
not,
and
that's
he
not-
learned
Culturally.
that. And and Zahir learned that through
Message coming in.
sitting around.
Patching it through.
And becomes one of the best warriors and airbenders to have ever existed, to the point where he learns to fly without even bending properly. No. Zahir, interesting personality, interesting way he goes about it, everything, and you can find the flaws in his philosophy when you think about him in more depth, but the character makes absolutely no sense in why he even exists the way he exists. It's just bullshit.
Contrived.
He just sits there and figures out everything and is a perfect fighter. How do you even keep in shape, man?
He did it Iroh style. It was fucking doing
Iroh's
pull-ups
a
on the
big
jail
barrel
bars.
of a man.
Here is Mike Testa. The shock therapy Ammon theory was cool by ER. Okay, I didn't watch all of ER stuff about.
I don't remember that.
Oh yeah, the shock therapy that they were using the shock gloves to block chi paths to benders, and that's how non-benders were taking away bending. That's what ER proposed. But yeah, sadly, we can wish for reality to be different, but that's how it's written. Like shit.
Yeah, fan fiction.
All
Bad
right.
fan fiction.
For him to be able to unlock an airbending ability we've never seen before is so cool, especially
No,
in
it's
how they do
that's
it.
not
since
automatically
he's able to fly
cool.
only after he watches the woman he loves get straight up killed.
Wait a second. So breaking the lore is cool?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
and
so
you think
neat.
that's cool. Oh, and you think that's cool. Oh, and you think
Shiny.
you're an idiot.
This is like
Riley,
the-
you're an
episode 7. Oh, look, Ray can do this. How? I don't know.
That is so
Basically. And it's so cool that she can levitate while she's meditating. Like, wow, that is such a good point towards the quality of this film. Oh my god.
This is the mentality of a child. Oh, and you think that's cool. This maybe
Yeah.
explains also why Riley's such an indulgent person.
Yeah, look at these shiny keys. Wow, I've never seen those shiny keys before. That's amazing.
Killed by Su Yin. Without her as his worldly attachment, he's able to enter the void. That's terrifying and dark, but makes for a great villain. And let's be real.
No.
It makes for a great villain because he suffers a loss. I mean,
He
sure.
overcame his grief quite fast.
You know what also
Thought
makes
you-
also makes a great
such
villain?
strong love, really.
If he finds his love and he's happy, that also makes a great villain. You know what also makes a great villain? Any emotion that makes sense.
Mhm. Also, I thought you hated fridging women for male development.
That's not an explanation for a good. Come on, you could get any. Hey, I understand the villain. That's fine. So,
Yeah,
You know,
like
when I was 6, I had more care for consistency in a story.
really, yeah. Riley apparently loves every story ever because these are all common, basic things.
A new
Congrats.
thing. Oh, did you see that? A new thing.
Yeah,
So awesome.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh
awesome.
my god, I've seen this in every other story ever. Oh my god, it's great.
Look, the
That's something
fireballs are
coming
blue.
in.
Oh my god, it's so amazing.
Patching it
Blue
through.
fireballs.
The Earth Queen was a horrible ruler who let her people struggle in poverty while she lived in wealthy extravagance. She probably got what was coming to her, and the way her death
Like all
sets the
communists?
stage for Kuvira to gain power in Book 4 is just so good. While Korra's dealing with her trauma, the world is kind of forced to choose.
so the scene where this thing happens is so good, guys. It's just
It's the thing that happens. Oh god.
this ice cream that tastes like vanilla is just good.
10 out of 10. I have never seen anything else in my life. So vanilla is like ecstasy.
I mean, one thing for this part of the plot is that I did like that the world was pissed at Korra for just indulging in I'm so weak and broken. You're the fucking Avatar. It doesn't even matter whether you can bend. Yeah, that's kind of your signature move, but you are supposed to be the spiritual leader and healer of your world.
Korra spiritual? Oh my god.
Korra is as spiritual as a
Yeah, because when you think about it, going back to the first series, Broken Window. Going back to the original series, it was oftentimes that Aang went out and helped people, not just by using his bending, by literally giving him his philosophy and like acceptance. Like I can just picture in my mind a couple of times where he accepts the new air people, or the people that move into the air temple, and how the spirit of the air nomads live on through them, and kind of coming to that realization, which allows them to turn against the Fire Nation, or say, I'll have to think about it more, but I can just picture him giving advice over and over and giving wisdom, and it resolves situations.
Here's Ron Harushan.
What does Korra do?
Like Riley respects lore.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It's sarcasm. Yeah, and what does Korra do? She sulks because she can't bend anymore.
Patching it through.
Bending's the coolest thing.
Yeah, then fucking F yourself and get reborn as the next Avatar. Step aside if you think you're that useless. My God, what a spiritual incarnation of the spirit of the world. Oh wait, you erased that law.
Oh my God.
The Avatar, they rewrote the Avatar to just be some random mortal that got blessed by all the lion turtles with all the elements, instead of being the manifestation of the spirit of the planet that wants to experience itself and life. Completely different thing, and a much lesser and more pathetic thing. Just so so they could get their space carpet fight.
Here is
between a power-hungry nature.
Here's Alex Halo. The villain were just a lot of Ty Lee and Ammon's second-hand man who show up a lot, get wasted too, and never seen again.
Oh, yeah, the villains were just a lot of Ty Lees and Amon's second-hand man guy that shows up a lot. So the guy with the like evil man beard, where it's like spike on one side and the other in the chin, and get wasted, and then you never see anyone else different. Yeah, so I mean, Amon could have carried the villain side all by himself. He didn't need any more fleshed out characters because that's how fucking cool he was. So the rest of them being faceless Ty Lee's mooks that could Ty Lee as in that they can block Bender's abilities with the little pressure points like Ty Lee did. It isn't a bad thing.
Destroying military who throws people in prison camps, or a spoiled brat who has no idea what he's doing. There's not really a good choice there, and I love that about this show. It's not as easy as the big bad guys versus the rest of the poor innocent people. Things are messy in The Legend of Korra because the world is messy. And on a much less intense note, I just want to mention pro bending. This sport is so much fun. I love all of the pro bending scenes. I love the commentator. I love the new bending style that is developed for it. It's all just a fun new way to use bending and a really creative addition to the Avatar universe. In fact, all of Republic City is fascinating. I love seeing how lightning bending, once a rare and difficult skill, is now so common that people like Mako can do it for a job.
We talked about that. They should all be dead.
Yeah.
Should all be fucking dead, or at least hundreds of people should have died trying to figure it out.
It's
and
like
the training should take years.
It's like the lightsaber thing. I think Red Letter Media put it that lightsabers were so fascinating in the original trilogy because of how rarely they're used. And then in the prequel trilogy, they're like fucking glow sticks. They'll ignite them at any sound, at anything that comes around, and they kind of lose their dazzle because of it. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
less is more.
Every time they fall out of someone's hand, and you have to make the shot of how it lands on the ground. It becomes comical. Thing here is, Riley is all for the socialist crap. That I forgot the name of the sport they invented about the bending. That is a commercialization of all of that. You should be against that. That is capitalism. The whole city is capitalism. You should be at odds with it. But you don't realize it because Korra, more avatar bending, awesome, no new skills, new thing,
At them having conviction. Are you really surprised that they don't have any? The people like Riley sticking to what they preach and they say they believe.
Well,
No.
I don't mind her saying that she likes or dislikes the scene. I want to know why. It can't just be good because you say it's good. I want to know why it's good. Oh, he lost his wife. That makes him a good villain. It's like it's motivation. I mean, I can wrap my brain around it. Doesn't mean it's good. He could have married his wife and been very happy. That's motivation. Is that good?
Right?
It's very surface level stuff. I'm not getting any depth here of what makes Korra a great story.
Yeah, I thought he would be throwing out some bullshit, but he's just stating things.
This happened, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened.
I almost want to skip to the later part where he says he's going to address criticisms. That's where I feel like he may get into actual arguments instead of just describing the plot.
I am all for this because it's been...
Okay, let's choose a random point. Yay!
Away from the show believing that. Sure, she loses a few battles. It wouldn't make any sense for her to never... All the power that she has is very clearly earned. I think the Mary Sue argument might stem from people thinking that a character's flaws need to be physical, like lacking the ability to bend an element, but a lot of Korra's weaknesses are emotional and spiritual, so most of her growth over the series is related to that, rather than just learning new elements. I mean, to say...
What?
Okay.
You should have listened to an actual argument, Riley.
Right?
The point is that this story bends around Korra, no matter how much she messes up the world even more, to the point where she should have fucking died several times. The whole reality just bends around, so she's actually... Mary Sue is a reality bender. That she just gets saved by the universe over and over again. That is what happens to a Mary Sue, not an actual character. She even gets saved by Aang's spirit at one time. That makes no sense. Then her friends save her and right the world instead of her. But somehow she never learns anything from it. She isn't humbled from it. There's nothing. Then she fucks up the whole spirit world thing.
Oh yeah, that's fucked up.
And more and more and more. She's a Mary Sue because she never has to face consequences for her actions. The exception being the time when she gets the mercury poison. But that's not even consequences for her actions. That's just she being stupid because it was the whole plan to poison her with that in the first place. And then
that was just a villain plot. It wasn't anything of really what she did. That was just the villain's plot to do evil against the good.
Yeah, it was finally a time where she was down in the dumps. That if there is any hero's journey for her, that was her hell part, but that was also pathetically executed.
Oh yeah, I also have an issue with Riley
not
saying
because of all her physical abilities. She is a Mary Sue because she gets away with everything. She fucks around with people. Her dog doesn't even hate her for abandoning her in the desert. She gets these stupid emotional love triangles with fucking everyone, and nobody's pissed at her. It's a Mary Sue.
Also exclaiming that her flaws are mental, emotional ones, yet they're never addressed. She never gets properly punished for her actions. Like, she bitches out Tenzin in front of his kids in the first season because she wants to go play pro bending, and Tenzin's right to be fucking angry with her, but I guess she clicks with the the air nomad been like movements or whatever. So something positive came out of her being a fucking cunt. So that's not really a flaw when nothing bad comes of it, of the behavior.
And someone in chat mentions, no, also she loses her access to the avatar state because of her actions. You can say that's true, that she fucks that up. But that's not just her losing that power, that's the whole fucking history erased. That's worse. That's she making the world worse. Does she get punished for it? No, she just loses the power of the avatar state.
When did she?
But there's no real punishment.
The narrative doesn't punish her. Like, yeah, this bad thing happened to her. Maybe that's a punishment because she cares, sort of, but she doesn't really linger on it. That doesn't really ever come back up again much, except for when they need a Deus Ex Machina. Oh, but actually, I killed the Deus Ex Machina. She didn't really get it killed. It was another villain doing something to her. So she was more victimized than
I don't
suffering.
remember when that actually happened. Do you remember in what context that happened?
I know when the avatars get erased. I don't know when she loses access to the avatar state. Oh, no. That's in season 4. That was due to the mercury poison. So no, that was because she was victimized by the Red Lotus. And she didn't... They were after her. There wasn't really any flaw she did that put her in the way of the Red Lotus, that put her in the way of that poison. At least I don't remember. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've seen this.
Yeah, trying to define...
I'm pretty sure.
Trying to define the multiple criteria for a Mary Sue is a little difficult. I'm going to be making a video on that about, I think, this month. Just talking about the concept.
Message coming in.
But we can just go through some basic numbers. And this is a scale. So even what I'm saying could be true. I'm sure the rest of the scale is false, but I don't know all the factors because it's a huge list. But the basics one is that she's too good or too competent in too many things. That's the simplest one. She has all these talents. She's amazing at the first episode. She's physically attractive. Everyone likes her to that regard visually. She's played or viewed as admirable by other characters who might be sympathetic. So there's Mako, there's Bolin. The majority of the cast all sort of love her. Let's see.
That's rather that no one can hate her.
Yeah, it's
there are people who have animosities beyond the villains, but nobody hates her.
That's a good point. That's kind of the uniqueness of it, is that no matter what they do, they can't make other people hate them.
Right. That's another one is unduly favoring a character by changing other characters or the environment in inappropriate ways. I'm trying to see how that works out. Zahir went from trying to kill her to helping her after she got him arrested. As opposed to Aang fixed a malady by using a spiritual skill. I don't know the context of these scenes, but it sounds like... Did Aang fix a malady? I don't know.
A malady? Are you talking about the panda spirit?
Couldn't tell you.
Or is he talking about Fire Lord Ozai and using a spiritual ability to take away his bending? I don't know. I thought he was talking about the panda spirit.
What was the point again?
The is unduly favoring a character. So the Mary Sue is unduly favored by changing other characters or the environment or lore or whatever in inappropriate ways. So Aang fixes a physical malady by using a spiritual skill, and Zahir goes from trying to kill her to helping her after she gets him arrested. So I don't know if that's the case. Those are the examples
I don't think that's the case with Zahir. Zahir had a... You could argue it with Zahir's philosophy that he has no reason to have the biggest animosities towards Korra, not after he's been beaten. He is someone who is self-reflective and who does humble himself. So I don't know. I don't think that Zahir is the one breaking that.
All right, no problem. Again, it's not my specialty, so I don't know the story very well. Here's Roan
It's
Harushin.
long ago that I watched it.
Yeah, her trauma mess gives me flashbacks to Yang's PTSD, and that was resolved through shipping. What?
Oh god, that's a reference to Ruby.
Oh God.
Yang, the blonde girl, she lost her arm at the end of season 3, which is very, very traumatizing because she is a fist fighter, and so that's why it hits extra hard, because that means she can't fight anymore. Season 3 is after season 3, or before the end of season 3, the original creator died, and after that, Rooster Teeth just started writing crap and giving in to the shipping demands of a very strange subset of the audience. So the writing just went absolutely downhill when the series was just starting to get interesting and gaining quality. But the writing just went completely.
This reminds them of bad shipping fan fiction.
Yes, and I think they're in season 7 now, so it's 4 seasons of bullshit.
Damn.
Yeah.
Say she's a Mary Sue, you would have to ignore all of book 4, where she spends the entire season training and healing and becoming stronger because she was so severely traumatized at the end of book 3. As for the argument that she's
Riley,
too weak,
you wouldn't know
I'm
PTSD
not
when it bit you in the ass.
Yeah, they
Message
definitely
coming in.
overuse that word, but
Patching it through.
I mean, yes, Korra is down, but I think it looks more like something else. She comes across more like a broken spirit. I don't know if there are subforms of PTSD that look more like hers. The ones I have more experience with, the flashbacks, they can, when it's really severe, they can drive you to the edge. And not by you wanting to kill yourself, but rather by your body giving out because of the stress you're put through. Korra could have gone through such flashbacks. That would have been interesting. Would also have been very hard on the viewers. Though I'm not even sure what the target audience of this show is, because it's not the same young children as The Last Airbender. But it's a bit difficult to talk about this. I've experienced myself with severe PTSD, and Korra just strikes me as someone who's just having a very severe depression. Sorry if that sounds condescending. I know severe depression is no joke, but she really rather comes across like someone with a severe depression and not with PTSD.
Message coming
It's
in.
my personal opinion.
Patching it through.
Here is Jake the Surgeon. Here's Ruby urge to autistically rant rising. Oh, please don't, Jake. Please don't.
Maybe have him on the stream at some point.
Well, if you want to rage, rage in your own room. Don't spend money on your rage. That's not healthy.
Yeah. Even if it increases Smart's chance to buy good whiskey.
Yeah.
or more commissions from me.
Yeah, and I kind of sort of promised Rone Hiroshin, I don't know how you pronounce that, to watch through Ruby at some point, and so far I only got through the end of season 3, and I'm scared to watch ahead. I'm honestly scared to watch ahead.
Apparently there's, I don't even know there were 8 seasons actually, and oh god, does things just get crappier. Okay, yeah, I don't want to.
Because I was
seasons.
told to
Like a
introduce some
supernatural.
trans character at the end or something that's completely out the wazoo, and that's why I promised to watch it all, and I just don't want to.
Isn't there a character fucking a robot in that show?
I don't know. I don't want to.
Anyway.
sure how you could come away from the show believing that. Sure, she loses a few battles. It wouldn't make any sense for her to
Whatever,
never
we already
lose.
talked about
Imagine
this.
how boring that would
Let's
be.
do next
and
argument.
Then to fight Zahir in this incredibly cool battle, despite the
Message coming
literal
in.
deathly poison coursing
Patching it
through
through.
her veins. That's like the pinnacle of physical and mental strength. To be able
Wait. If you're telling me how strong this person is, despite having poison in her body, and you're not calling her a Mary Sue?
Right now, Korra is Captain Marvel with the inhibitor.
When you are in a heightened state or you got blood pumping and you got a poison in your veins, you're going to die a lot faster, like really fast. It's like anti-venom, like, I don't know, some neurotoxin or something that's pretty deadly. And you just get your heart going. Yeah, the more heartbeats you get, the faster you are to death. So
The faster it spreads the poison around to your heart.
yeah.
Like, way to completely disprove the point with this beautiful illustration.
But it looks so cool. She can't be weak. Yeah, you're exactly right. She's so strong. Poison can't kill her.
It's nicely animated, nice looking scenes. It's awesome. Clap, 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 clap. It's great. Clap, clap. This is why people like Riley are so dazzled by TOJ.
Look at these keys. They're twinkling in front of my face.
It looks pretty. It has pretty scenes. It doesn't need to make sense. It just needs to be pretty scenes.
Oh my god.
Here
Okay,
it
let's
is. Mike Testa. Who are you kidding? Korra's body should give out. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it should have given out. Wait.
I don't have the feeling that we missed anything by skipping ahead.
Not really.
I agree.
We're feeling. I might click it a little bit farther too, because I feel like that close. He's still on the same point.
Policing isn't the solution to crime. She became so disillusioned
What?
with everything that she ran away to live in the swamp. So
What a place to click on! Damn.
Policing is not the solution to crime. Oh, okay.
And I know that's completely out of context, but she's saying that actually policing
coming in. Patching it through.
isn't the solution to crime. Okay.
What?
And so she does a Luke Skywalker and runs away to a forest.
So murder mysteries,
bullshit.
thefts, vandalism. It's like, yeah, policemen are useless. Don't even bother. Okay.
And then it's
ACAB,
smug
don't you
smile
know?
of Toph doesn't
ACAB.
fit the scene. This is not the right scene for Toph to have a smug smile.
Oh, didn't she call him Twinkle Toes? And he's like, why you keep calling me that? I'm like 50. And she's like, I live in the past. That's that scene.
What was Toph's actual reason to leave?
I can't remember. I honestly can't remember because it was so small.
Here's Jake the Surgeon again. Thank you, Jake. I like how Ruby takes a victim of racial oppression and turns him into a psychotic 3x boyfriend to shove a ship down our throats. Makes me sick. Wow, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, racially oppress the cat girls, guys.
I think Jake is talking about the Son Goku, the quasi Son Goku guy, so the monkey guy.
All right.
Who's introduced in the second or third season, and the animal people in the Ruby world. They're basically the look down upon people.
Okay. All right.
The people with animal ears.
Yeah, that's.
Oh god, enough about Ruby though. I'm sorry.
That's a pretty common
Yes.
trope in those kinds of stories. So yeah. Okay, cool. Let's go.
Let's do random.
I actually
random-
really like this writing decision for a couple reasons. For one, it forces her to
hate that
confront
scene.
who she is without Rava, since her identity had always been so wrapped up in being the Avatar, and figuring out who she is outside of being the Avatar is a major part of her growth and story. And secondly, Korra's story was always about the next era, about starting over and being something new. What better way to do that than to literally force her to confront everything alone, without the help of her past lives like Aang had. Yeah, it's sad and it's tough, but that's the point.
not just
It has
sad,
a
it's
strong
evil.
emotional impact on the viewer because you know how important those past lives were to helping Aang.
Not just Aang. The past lives are the Avatar. All of them together are the Avatar. It's a collected amount of wisdom. It's not just people.
And it's good because destroy the past, kill it if you have to. That's basically the reason why she liked getting rid of the past lives. And I like it. Yeah, it was a good decision because
Message
it was
coming in.
emotional on the viewer. It was
Patch
almost
it
like
through.
it was cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. Well, I will say one thing. At least it was a fucking argument.
It
was a shit one, but at least it was an
It's
argument.
what many of these things do. These badly written things. It's here's this part of the story or abilities or the world. What can we do with it? Oh, we can do something really impactful by destroying it.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
what
my
these
god.
SJW productions, these rip-offs, always do. You see that in the new Star Wars thing with
the
we just kill all
lightsaber
the old
toss?
characters. Oh, we do the lightning, the light speed crash. Oh, looks great, very emotional impact. Oh, by the way, it broke the universe.
Right.
You see this all the time.
Bad.
The new Star Trek TDS bullshit does this all the time. I don't want to get into it. It's just everywhere.
Right.
It's fucking everywhere.
Well,
And someone in the chat said Toph left because of bureaucracy.
oh.
She liked policing, but she didn't like the bureaucracy. I can imagine that.
Well, that's in character. Out of character was she be a police at all? That's where the out of characterness is, because I guess they really didn't know what to do with her as an adult.
Here is Ron Harushan. He means Adam the Ruby Virgil knockoff. I think you're referring to Virgil in Devil May Cry.
Okay. Adam is the resistance leader in Ruby.
Is he a Virgil knockoff?
I don't know. I have DMC still on my to playlist.
Oh, you got to play number 3 at least.
Sorry, I only played through the Bayonettas.
Oh, that's okay.
All right, we're gonna
Message coming in.
finish this off pretty
Through.
quickly so I can finally go and play some Vampire the Masquerade.
That's a good
That
reason.
sounds good.
Yeah,
It is good.
let's do it.
Korra, and probably could have been shortened a lot and possibly just incorporated more into book 1. The problem there, I think, was that Korra was initially only approved for 1 season. Then it got a 2nd season, and then it got a 3rd and a 4th at the same time. So it wasn't until books 3 and 4 that the creators really knew they could make an ongoing, developing, multi-season story. That's why Korra ends too neatly at the end of book 1. I wish
That doesn't
Korra
matter.
could've-
That doesn't matter.
You don't have to carrot and stick people continuously
Yeah, and
into
if
next
you
things. You can conclude and just be fine, and then come up with something new in the next season.
you can still leave your overarching plot open.
This is a really weak argument, saying because they didn't know they were going to have a 2nd season, therefore the writing was not solid enough, or whatever the ending was supposed to be. It's like that's a good excuse, or sorry, that's a bad excuse for shit writing. It's like they didn't know what they were going to do. It's like, so what?
Then write a good season.
Yeah, write a good season that ends
one
a
good
certain
season.
way.
And you
Get
know,
good.
this is the thing. It's the thing. I don't know how it was for The Last Airbender, whether they had the funding for all the seasons from the beginning. I doubt that, honestly. But you had the overarching plot with that was always in the background, Fire Lord Ozai. You can't just do that. You can't just set up. You can write your good 1 season and have the overarching plot looming in the background. That's not that's not a problem at all. The first Star Wars movie did that. They didn't intend to make a second one. At the end of New Hope, Vader is still alive. He's just bumbling through space. The Emperor is still alive. It's only the Death Star that got blown up. That's all the threats are still there. It's just the immediate threat has been beaten. But the overarching threat is still around.
Yeah.
If The Last Airbender had just had 1 season, it would still be good. Yeah, they didn't get to the Fire Lord, but fucking hell, good season.
They got to the North Pole, and that was hell of a bang of a season finale.
And that's where you have fans nowadays that rave about, if we only got a 3rd season to finish off the story, to get stuff like Serenity made into a film for, what's that Josh Whedon thing? Firefly. So,
Firefly, yeah.
like stuff like that, people demand stuff, and now for some reason Netflix is just picking stuff up. So we're going to give you some money to finish off. For example, people like Lucifer. So Netflix picked it up after it was canceled. So if there's a demand for it, people will want it. And the Netflix, the whatever you call the streaming community, the streaming companies will start, see if they can spend some money to get the people on their side. So
yeah.
Oh, there was demand to continue Lucifer?
Yes, there was. Believe it or not.
Oh my god. I mean, I can understand that for niche, strange and strangely awesome things like Farscape, because that got dropped very quick, all of a sudden, surprisingly.
Yeah.
To the surprise of the whole cast, of the whole production team, and then there was a worldwide movement, and that was in the early stages of the internet. A worldwide movement to bring Farscape back to finish the story, and that way, a couple movies got made that you can watch as one thing. It's basically the finishing up season.
Yeah,
there's a bit weird things in it that don't necessarily need to be there, but hey, they finished it up because people wanted to. So if you have so little trust in your fucking thing, why make it in the first place?
Bad flashbacks to Samurai Jack Season 5? Are you dissing Samurai Jack Season 5? In this chat? Oh no.
Well,
I'm about to throw hands.
Final season of Samurai Jack was probably the best.
Yeah, that was fucking great.
Okay, let's keep going.
Couldn't stand the first one.
Jake the Surgeon. Then they take the only smart character cartoonishly evil, even though the main character is without critical information, and tell a terrorist about his plan to unite the world, but are never held to it. And Jake continues, makes me pop a rage boner so hard I can flip a truck.
I read that when I was first typing. I was like, yes, please.
Well, I don't know how much you invested in the show, but if you hate it that much, there must be something you like about that character. So, like a lot.
Okay. One more click. Can we make 50
It's
seconds?
almost done.
As long as you go into it with an open mind, you could be pleasantly surprised at how good it is.
Oh my
especially
god!
when-
Oh, shut up!
No. Not an open mind, an empty mind that has zero experience and knowledge about the world. To like this must be the first thing you ever experience in your life.
Can you imagine someone arguing? Oh, it just hurts for the first hour. It's just you have to have an open mind.
It's like when people tell me that Buffy is the greatest show ever. You just need to choke through the first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
So, aha, 20 hours. Fuck you.
Isn't Smud a Buffy simp? Oh wait, no, that's Muller.
I like Angel.
Yeah. And I understand the argument. I mean, the first 2 seasons of The Clone Wars are also absolutely unbearable.
But I wouldn't say that the Clone Wars
it stays very flawed after that. It has its moments, and you need to like the universe to look over that.
All these shows, all these shows that have this sort of quirky, weird, supernatural element and like super powerful people. Like, there's no way Sarah Michelle Gellar is that strong, but it's fine. But it's always the second iteration of those shows, like Xena Warrior Princess, stupid show, but it came after Hercules. Much better show than Hercules. They figured out their demographic. They figured out the stunts,
the character,
etc., etc. Same with Angel. Same with Mass Effect 2. They got the gameplay figured out. They got the rendering engine figured out. They brought the right people on the job.
Yeah.
It's always the second time through that things.
Yeah, it's like the first is always a prototype.
Yes.
No matter how much you would want to do it right.
The problem is the prototype in certain cases have better inspiration, and then the second one is let's just streamline what we did without any inspiration because we think we have a cash cow here. Let's pump that out. So you get a great experience. You get a really good
patching it through
cinnamon bun, but if you don't like cinnamon buns, you're screwing everyone else over. So
I can't like cinnamon buns. Get some chili.
Yeah. Personally, I think Rebels could have been good if Disney hadn't meddled with it,
Oh,
and
God,
they had
yeah.
finished the Clone Wars before they started Rebels.
Yep. Same with Babylon 5. Same with Real Ghostbusters. Anytime producer involvement gets into the writing room, or the writer's, whatever you call that, the script, things get influenced poorly. So,
And when I in DS9 forced Q into the show when he didn't really fit in.
DS9's a mixed bag because it's really slow to start. It's episodic in nature, even throughout the rest of the series. And it's just
another one of those shows where I think the first season is a really hard
well, it's the same
thing
with,
to get through.
it's the same with TNG. Like the first 2 seasons are just like, ooh, these are rough. These are too experimental. I think.
The Next Generation?
Yeah,
I'm fine with the experimental. It's but it's the I don't know the writing, the acting it's so super stiff.
Yeah.
I think it's more that than the experimental ideas. Like I did like in general the first plot with Farpoint Station with these giant creatures.
Yeah.
That's an amazing sci-fi plot.
There's lots of good moments in Star Trek, the first and second season, but there's a lot of bad ones. There's a lot of bad scripts, and the technology is not consistent. The special effects aren't consistent. Phasers travel 50 miles an hour, but sometimes they're 40 miles an hour. What the fuck is this? What kind of weapon is this? So,
Just step to the side.
yeah, it's like, oh.
I'll just step over here. Okay.
Yeah.
Just slightly swimming at them.
And then, of course, you had Wesley Crusher, but that's another story.
Shut up, Wesley.
Yeah, Mike
I
Testa.
was mainly in the first season. I was surprised when I rewatched the whole series that was mainly just set in the first season.
Yeah, that was the influence rather of Gene Roddenberry wanting to put his own touch on stuff. It's like Gene, like, brilliant man. Just slow it down. Let someone else do your job. You're old. Just help out. Just be around us. We'll do the rest of the work. So, here's Mike Testa. Final episode of season 5 was bad, and you know it. Are we talking about?
I started about Samurai Jack. No, it wasn't. It was great. You're only mad because Ashi disappeared because time travel has loops in it. And that kind of sucked, but only because I wanted Samurai Jack to be happy.
It was a bit contrived, but
Oh, that's what happens with time travel plots.
yeah.
The whole thing is based off of time travel.
I think I would be more pissed when, although it would have been emotionally rewarding, I think it would have annoyed me more if she would have magically survived it.
Yeah, that's kind of how it was, like, inevitable, and it was sad, but you could see that Jack was happy with his time.
Yeah, and look,
And
it's,
it was
it's a
good.
real sacrifice. There's a real sacrifice at the end.
Right.
To beat Aku, the sacrifice needs to be made. Wow.
And it was good. Also, Trayvon was saying that first 3 episodes were great, and then went downhill from there, turning Jack into an idiot love-struck teenager. Made no sense. Bruh, he was in love, okay? I'm sorry you don't like a little romance plot, but it was great.
Okay, and to let RSG in the chat know, kids do enjoy well-written stuff. To think that kids don't need well-written stuff because they're kids, it's bullshit. I watched Babylon 5 as a kid. I loved it. It was amazing. And this
Message
shit,
coming in.
Korra, I probably would
Patch
have
it
watched
through.
once, and then after a while realized, maybe I would have taken longer than when I was an adult, thought, what is this shit? Something's wrong here. I'm not interested in watching this again. I'm interested in watching Babylon 5 again, but not this. I'm interested in watching certain episodes of TNG again, but I'm not interested in rewatching any episode of Korra. Because it's just bad.
All right. Here is
Kids enjoy quality writing.
Here
And that's
is
not just me.
Here is Tyler Preston. Thanks for the donation. I haven't watched Ruby Beyond Season 2, and the episode that introduces the character Pro because Vic Mignogna, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I've watched Rooster Teeth's knockoff Gundam Genlock, and it was complete shit. Interesting ideas, but horribly executed. Yeah, that sounds like how Rooster Teeth has been operating for a while.
I think you can safely watch season 3 and then cut it.
A lot of criticism from that show or from that series.
Season 1 and 2 is more like 5 to 10 minute shorts per episode. There's no consistent episode number.
I'm not a fan of the 3D anime in general, so I don't tend to.
It's not very high quality, but it's developing over time. Okay. I think the story behind the show is very interesting. And there's a lot of passion in making it in the first place. It's just sad that the original maker passed away. This sadly, accidentally, randomly.
Okay,
might have something interesting under our hands in the later seasons. Maybe he would have remade the beginning at some point.
Here's Mike again. The parents were old when Aku was in charge. Cheese.
He's saying, I think he's saying that he doesn't like that Samurai Jack's parents were ancient in the very first episode when Aku was in charge and sent Samurai Jack into the future. And then in the final episode of season 5, they were not the same age. I call that a nitpick. But I think that's what that is about, because I was confused, but they explained it a little later.
All right, here's Jake the Surgeon again. Kids shows put some adult shows to shame. Yes, that's true.
Yeah, like Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't say Samurai Jack's Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I'm also just being funny.
Yeah, those things are.
I bet
great.
Samurai Jack does have some flaws. I'd
say a mediocre example would be I don't know from what year that was, the Transformers CGI show. It didn't focus very much on the humans, thankfully. But it didn't have too much contrivances in it, and had here and there interesting plots, interesting ideas, and was taking them seriously. And the villains weren't just completely contrived idiots. It was watchable, and Optimus Prime gives you some really good wisdom in that show, unlike certain movies we don't talk about.
Yeah, as we talk about how entertaining a show is, it also has to teach something. You can't just have a show about stuff happens, person goes to store, buys thing, goes home, the end. You have to give us a lesson, give us a moral, give us some sort of thing for us to latch onto. So, don't step on cracks.
And I honestly don't know what I learned from Korra. I just don't. Aang has the friendship stick together thing. Korra doesn't even have that.
Yeah, because she goes around and fucks all of her friends and sows discourse among the group. Like, damn.
Yeah,
keep it in your pants, Korra bitch.
Even as a kid, you can watch TNG or nowadays the Orville, and you have this open ending of the philosophical question. So what happens now? We visited this place, or we had this problem to solve, and well, we got to some point, and now the people are on their own with it. That allows you to think about it. It's great. That's also okay. And I said I watched Babylon 5 as a kid when it came out. I loved it. I loved Chikar because he had wisdom to share, and he was funny. And at the beginning, he was an asshole. He had his reason. And Molari, absolute asshole. He has wisdom to share. And then you put these both horrible people together, and they grow past their own hatred for each other. It's still there somehow. There's still the rivalry and everything, and all the animosity and this history between their races. But somewhere deep down, these two assholes connect and grow up to be better versions of themselves. I love that. I was just a fucking kid. I loved seeing that. That was the best part of the whole fucking show.
Yeah, that was the sort of thing where the show is mainly about the shadows versus the Vorlons, but then there's this subplot with Londo and Jakar, which is much more interesting. And it's like, Every time they're on screen, it's like, oh, shh, oh, see what happens. And they
Well,
just-
see, that's the immediate thing. The immediate politics of the races of this in this very shaky alliance, or rather very shaky peace, and the Volon shadow thing. That's the overarching thing in the background that you get drip fed. That here's a thing, there's a
Message
thing,
coming in.
and
Patching it through.
Jikar and Molari, they present this direct conflict. Then sometimes you get a glimpse into the other races of how they take, like the I forgot the name again, the idiots who every few years have their ritual of fighting for dominance by taking blue or purple shawls and at random, and then fighting to the death, and whichever faction stands at the end rules. And Ivanova gets beaten up over it. This is brilliant. It's wonderful. That's how sci-fi should be. That's how stories should be. And they teach us that, dude, your tribalism is really dumb. Because how do you choose in which part you are? Well, we put all the shawls into one big pot, and everyone draws a random one, and then we have Team Blue and Team Purple. And then we beat each other to the death. How do you know who's the leader? Well, one shawl of each color has this little brooch on it. So that's the leader. So that's also random. Yes. Then you beat each other to the death. Yes.
the resolution.
It's great!
The resolution of that was great.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was just fantastic. Yeah, I love it.
Mhm.
Mike Testa, nitpick my butt. That's called consistency. Okay. I mean,
Look,
Message
okay.
coming in. Patching it
What does the parents' age affect the plot? Like, how does it? It doesn't. Most people don't even really notice. Yeah, sure, we want consistency. They should be the same age, but it's so minor. It doesn't ruin the last episode. I think there are probably some stronger arguments you can make about the last episode being terrible than the parents' age, and that's more of it being a nitpick. Like, really? It doesn't affect his journey at all. It doesn't affect the destination. His parents are saved. They don't look wrinkly as they did before, but this is the end, and it isn't like the parents were a giant focus. Anyway, that's that.
all right, here's another Ruby super chat. I don't know Ruby was so popular to you guys, but oh my god.
Ruby stream. Oh god, I don't.
I think it's one of these tragic stories that just tugs at people because, oh, this could have been so nice, because the initial character design is just the character design is great. That's great. But
It's
then
always the
just-
ones with the wasted potential that sting the most and just
Yeah.
stay with you.
Yeah,
Guys-
like Firefly.
Just
It's
don't.
just, we have this world that was just ended at some point abruptly by fate or by the idiocy of some executives. It's just ended, and now this whole world
Message
hangs
coming in.
open
Patching
with
it through.
open strands in the air, and I think that gets everyone's hunger for creativity going, or everyone's creativity and hunger.
Well,
for
guys,
more.
try not to watch 3D anime, even Ghost in the Shell 2045. Just don't bother. Just don't. You don't have to. It's okay.
No,
I
it's-
can't think of any good ones off the top of my head, but I will address Mike Testa because I gotta start wrapping up myself. He says he fought Aku when they were enslaved. Yeah, in season 1.
I think that the Ruby thing at some point in the far, far future, you can make your own episode just about that, and I think it's technically not a real 3D anime. It's that Monty Ohm wanted to make his own anime. It's rather that, and for that, for an American, he had the right ideas. Just it was very rudimentary in the beginning, or very limited resources.
Also, Mike, if you want to bicker about this in the Discord, you could save your money. I don't want you spending yourself dry to
That's a
fight
good
with me
point.
online.
Yeah, she's more than happy to talk to you. That's totally cool.
Oh yeah, and I also take this all as friendly, by the way.
Oh no one takes this personally. Don't worry. We're so cynical. We do not care. Like, you could swear at us. We're like, yeah, that's fine. We don't mind.
But I need to go grab some dinner and play Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines.
There you go.
So thank you for having me on.
There you go.
Yeah, also thank you for being here and helping us through this.
Oh yeah.
Especially me.
I bet you. I'm here. My shoulder's right here for you, Wisp.
No.
We have like a minute left, and the rest is just an advertisement. We're fine. We're good.
I know. I feel good about cutting it here. That's why I'm like saying bye.
Okay. Thank you, Setter.
Bye.
All right. One more super chat, and then we got to finish off this video with whatever point they're making here. So let's go. Not Alfarius. The creator of Ruby, Monty was also a serious workaholic and probably a bit autistic considering his eccentric behavior. Rooster Teeth clearly didn't have anyone else as dedicated to his craft, and this shows.
They could have had his wife, because she knew all the shit, and his friend in the animation department.
Right.
But they sidelined both of them.
They
really wanted to do their own shit with the franchise.
Yeah, it really depends on what the vision was, like who recorded that vision, what was the philosophy. Like usually there's a Bible or some sort of document outlining everything. And so long as people are aware of that and they're aware of the storyboards or whatever the end game of all this is, then you should be fine. But it does sound as if it went off the rails.
They were already, in Season 3, they were already going against that.
Yeah. So
they were changing major plot ideas and certain fights that should have happened. Like they had a fight plan for this Adam character where Yang then lost her arm, and that scene was completely planned out, and I think even animated. But the producers scrapped it, but then reused it, or rather used it in Season 6 or something. What I was told. I haven't verified that yet. But it's things like that are completely random and don't make sense. Because they wanted a different ending for Season 3 than Monty Oum intended.
Oh.
And that kind of also screws with the characters, because it should have given another character than Ruby a big moment of character development and emotional scarring. Instead it's just Ruby witnesses something and gets random power boost. That makes no sense.
Random power boost. Wow, great lore there. Just random powers. We can do stuff now. It's like, okay. Oh, that won't ruin any lore.
Producers can't write.
Wow. When you have 3D animation, you're trying to make a story. It's like you really got to know what you're doing before you start moving these models around the screen for the sake of having action.
Helped them for the 3D for the fight scenes to not do them by storyboard, but by we're in this part of the level we've built, the scenery we've built, and then they went creatively from one moment to the next. That made in these early seasons the fights relatively consistent and believable. And as I've heard, in the later seasons, they just do storyboard fights, which don't work as well.
Interesting.
So it's a question of what you're doing. Some things you need to plan out. Some things seem to work better depending on the medium you're using when you just go step by step. Find it interesting, at least to consider.
All right. 1 more minute. Hopefully this is not the entire argument in 1 minute, but let's just see what's on the screen here. The characters are so well developed by the end of it and the growth that everyone goes through. Okay, let's just see if that's the case.
Are so well developed by the end, and the growth that everyone goes through, particularly Korra herself, is phenomenal.
Phenomenal. Okay, these big words. It's just like,
so she's bigger than she was in the beginning, where she was unbeatable, amazing.
Yeah, she used the word fascinating earlier in the video. I was like, fascinating to me is a term that is like something is so unexpected, it makes you go, wow, that's fascinating. I wasn't expecting something like that to happen. Now, Korra, her development, whatever that was, is a phenomenon. It's beyond understanding. You can't comprehend it. I just like these are words you probably shouldn't use in describing an animation.
Korra just stumbled through the plot. That's what I see.
She gets hurt. she gets healed, and she saves the day.
Yeah. Riley's just impressed by, oh, cool, things happen.
Yeah. She's not a Mary Sue. Look how powerful she is. Oh, it's so amazing. It's like, what?
So that's why
Yeah.
I love The Legend of Korra. What do you think of it? Let me know your favorite moment from the series in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and giving it a thumbs up. And if you want to support the production of future videos like this one, I could really use your support over on Patreon. If you're not currently a supporter there, please check it out, as it would help me immensely to be able to keep making videos. And I want to give a huge thank you to all of my current Patreon supporters. This wouldn't be possible without you. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Yay.
No, not great writing. Very not great writing.
Well, I'm glad we didn't have to resolve all the middle part of that video, because that would take too long.
There wasn't a real conclusion or point being made. It was just a list of things happen.
This stuff happens, and I like it because she's so strong. You're like, okay, that's nice. Character is strong and does big, strong thing. You're like, yeah, that's really great. Villain loses wife, is thus motivated, and is thus a great villain. You're like, what? Really?
Georgius Rex said something great in the chat. She was 4 years old in the beginning, and now she's taller. Character growth.
Whoa. Undeniable fact. People grow when they are older. Like, yeah, thanks. Anyway, Cinder's going to go play vampire. That's the most important thing we learned out of this video.
That could have gone worse.
Yeah, no.
It could have been much worse. It was just boring.
Yeah. I mean, I could list plot elements as well, which I do that in some of my videos, but I actually talk about why it works and why it doesn't work in some cases.
Yeah.
So,
that's the important part.
Yeah, you can't just say stuff happens, I like it, therefore good. That's not an argument. You got to explain yourself. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm not a fan of Korra. I didn't watch much of the first season, and I just don't. Everything I've been told is like, don't bother. So I was like, all right, I won't. I'm happy. I'm good. Anyway, my throat is giving. I've been talking all day with LitDev and Morning Nonsense, and in between that and now this. So I gotta get something for my throat because I'm just losing it. But thanks, Wisp. I'm glad your passionate analysis and understanding of.
If I knew a few days earlier what would be coming up when, I might even try to rewatch some of these things.
Yeah, I know. I just don't want people to get too like, they don't have to do homework and get involved. Like, that's I appreciate it, but I don't want it to be much of a burden. And if you,
it's fine.
Yeah, you don't have to go through that much effort. Like, I always give you at least an hour in advance, saying, okay, this is what we're doing, and that should be enough for you to go through your notes or just watch some YouTube videos or whatever you do to jog the memory. I don't want to bring people on that have never seen something, or because that's kind of my role. I want to be objective as possible. I want to be like, what the hell is what is this person saying? When I get
the notification, it's more that I just take a break from everything to reset my brain.
Oh yeah. Well, aside from filling it with caffeine and sugar and God knows what else that you use to keep yourself
so that it even works in the first place.
Oh.
For about 3 hours.
Yeah, we gotta talk about that still to figure out what's a good stimulant, downer, upper, or whatever it takes to make you feel better. But
in the best case, I get rid of these health issues and don't need that.
Possibly, if you're eating tiramisu, I mean, you're already on the right path. I mean, that's to me, that's like
that was just
yeah.
That was just because I couldn't stand the limited choices of food today, so I ordered something.
There you go. All right, and you know what? I bet it was good.
Need to taste something, once in a while.
Yes, I'm going to get some whiskey because my throat can use it. And thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. And keep coming because we've got some Smud Talks happening tomorrow and Sunday. I'm not sure when because I've got stuff happening as well. So it might be on a different time. Might be later in the day. Not sure yet. I got to talk to some people about that.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not available tomorrow. Just in case.
Okay. Gotcha. So thank you, folks. Setter, why are you in the chat? Setter,
Play the fucking game.
eat your dinner.
Malkavian.
Play the game.
Malkavian.
I want to hear some want to read some Discord comments about, oh, I installed the game, I installed this mod, yada yada.
Yeah. And tell us of the wisdom of the stop sign.
Well, no. That's a bit too specific, I think. Tell me about the first club you go to. That's what I want to know.
Oh yeah.
That's good. That's good enough for me. All right. Thank you, folks. We'll talk to you real soon. Have yourself a great evening. Good night.